Zillow released its hottest housing markets in the United States. And guess what, guys? Sacramento is number 37. And guess what? We dropped 10 spots since last year. And people in Sacramento are so not really that angry, to be honest. I think we're kind of sick of prices going like this. I think a lot of new home communities are kind of being built every which way but loose. Traffic is getting a little bad, and I think we need a little bit of a breather. So we're not really too upset about this. In fact, we still are one of the hottest markets, but we're not getting as much of a spotlight as we did before. Truthfully, I think it's going to give our Sacramento housing market a little bit of a breather, much deserved. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're also going to talk about inventory. We're going to talk about mortgage rates like these, affecting our market. We're going to talk about inventory level like this, boom, affecting our market and what it means to you as the buyer. Guys, this is a good one. We're going to jump into everything regarding Sacramento and the current housing market. Let's get into it. All right, guys, hopefully you guys are having a good night. Let's get into it right away. Okay, first of all, this amazing list by our buddies at Zillow came out. It was about 2 months ago, and it showed basically the hottest markets. Look at that. Boom. You got Buffalo, New York. You got Indianapolis, Providence, Rhode Island. We beat the Bay Area. We're just above or just, underneath our, 37th against San Antonio. Las Vegas a little higher. Now, here's the thing about Sacramento, and here's one of the things I want everyone to keep in mind. The thing about Sacramento in general is that we were a lot more, we're getting really, really pricey here in Sacramento, whether people want to, comparatively towards the Bay Area and Los Angeles, and the Southern California, we're still pretty affordable. But in relation to other areas, like you're in Texas, in like Phoenix, we are very, very pricey. So one of the things you're going to see as our affordability starts to go up, our unaffordability starts to go up and up and up, you're going to see that we're not ranked as high as we used to be. What basically a lot of people loved Sacramento about was our location, California, state jobs, and the affordability factor. But as we all have seen, Sacramento's affordability has kind of disappeared. A lot of people aren't even equating, or, the word affordability when you think of Sacramento really isn't there anymore. It's kind of pricey here. Median home price hovers between like $550 and $610 in Sacramento County, and Sacramento is just not as affordable as it used to be. Now, what does this mean about Sacramento in general? It means that there's a lot of people that have moved into Sacramento. A lot of people bought new homes, and a lot of Melloroos are happening. So we're getting better schools. We're getting better entertainment activities. Things are happening here in Sacramento. So don't really be too worried about this. The fact is Sacramento is going through giant growing pains right now too. With all these new homes where we're putting in, what is it, like 30,000, or we have been being put in and will be putting in like 30,000 in Folsom, 30,000 Elk Grove, like we got stuff going on in Thomas, West Sacramento, Lincoln, and everything too. All that Melloroos that everyone hates, no one wants to pay, is also going towards new parks. We're talking new schools, fire departments, police departments, streets, all that kind of stuff too. So we're kind of like right now in a rebuilding stage or a growth building stage. And so right now what you're seeing is a lot of people moved in at kind of, more affordable pricing. And now because we are one of the hot topics and the hot areas in the California area, we're becoming less affordable. And honestly speaking, a lot of people are moving more towards the Central Valley. They're moving to areas that are a little bit more affordable. And I get that, right? But I think for a long, long time, Sacramento was devalued. I think for the most part, there was a lot of hate out there. People were not really high on Sacramento. They're thinking of it as a spot that they drive through to get to Tahoe. I think Sacramento right now, as I see it, with eyes of someone who came here from the Bay Area like 12, 13 years ago, I see Sacramento almost on a yearly basis changing, developing, growing. I see us changing from an affordable market, anyone can get a house. It's easy. People are moving here for affordable housing, to us becoming a spot where people move here because they absolutely love it. There's things to do. There's great restaurants. The people are amazing. The community values are high. That's what I see right now Sacramento transforming into. And like I said, I think that we are going to maybe have a couple bumps in the road, but for me, I wouldn't live anywhere else. I think Sacramento is awesome. I love kind of right now being on this kind of growth spurt that Sacramento is in. All these projects that are happening in Sacramento, like the Connector Project, like all the stuff happening in the rail yards, all the stuff happening in Placer 1, Placer Vineyards, Roseville, all the stuff happening in Folsom Ranch. This is stuff that if you stick around in Sacramento for let's say 5 to 10 years, these are things that you'll be able to look back on and say, man, I remember when that was like, that was just nothing and it was built up and all of a sudden like now we have this, right? I mean, now we have our own maybe baseball stadium in the future. I mean, you never know. So these are things that are really, really exciting about the Sacramento area. Now, as far as the list goes, like I say, the biggest trigger word right now for people in the United States because of all this economic uncertainty, because of inflation, because of high interest rates is the idea of affordable housing. People are looking for affordable housing. That's their main thing. And like I said, Sacramento just doesn't fit the bill too much anymore. So people are looking to spots like your Plymouth Lakes, your Linda, Central Valley, areas like even like outside of California, because outside people can get affordable housing. And right now people don't want to drop a lot of money for housing because they're not feeling secure with this economy. They're not feeling good about the job situation. And right now everyone's feeling uneasy. And so that's kind of what this list to me kind of reflects as far as everything goes. Like, yeah, we dropped 10 spots. Are we still an amazing spot to live? 100%. Are we still one of the hottest markets in the United States? Absolutely. Do I think that we will probably rebound and get up to like underneath like 20 within about 3 years? Absolutely. Because I do think that in like 2 to 3 years, we're going to see so many projects being developed into Sacramento. Like I said, Sacramento is going to be less about, hey, I'm moving to Sacramento because it's affordable, and more because Sacramento, with all these things happening with the food scene, the growth, the development, community, neighborhoods, awesome things to do here. Sacramento is turning into a more of a destination type spot to live. So that's kind of what we're right now experiencing, right? Back in the day, Sacramento was affordable, and hey, a lot of people in the Bay Area bought their investment properties here in Sacramento. And now we're kind of transforming into more of a destination spots. Now, there have been cities that are already kind of leading the pack on that, like your Folsoms, your Rosevilles, your Elk Groves. They're always on those lists of the best suburbs and best places to live in all of California. Now, what you're going to notice is additionally other places, probably like your Lincolns, like maybe like West Sacramento's, you're going to see other spots also follow suit because of all the Melrose, all the building, all the projects, all the development that's happening in Sacramento. So like I said, right now, yes, we might have dropped a little bit and Zillow might not love us as much as normal. But basically what you're seeing is a lot of these markets that are focused on, a lot of these markets that are increasing in the rankings are the more affordable places. And that's what people are clinging to right now. And that's what's kind of making this list happen. So that's my kind of breakdown of that. All right, we got Lake Tahoe. Hello. How are you guys doing out there? All right. Good evening to everyone. Blessings. Blessings to you too. Hopefully everyone is having a fantastic day. Guys, by the way, if you are coming up to Sacramento to visit, it is like 100 degrees. But tomorrow it's supposed to drop down. I think by Friday it's supposed to drop down to the 80s, and Saturday is 80s as well too. But for today, it is a hot 100-degree day. All right, Tatiana, my favorite influencer. Good evening. Cool us down with good news, Mark. All right, so here's the basic good news about the whole thing is that as the year progresses, if interest rates stay where they're at, you're going to see probably a lot of reductions happening in the market. And I think buyers are probably going to get a big advantage. Now, Redfin produced all this data. It was basically like, oh my God, inventory's up. And we've been calling this since February. On this channel, if you watch this in February, we told you straight up, after the Super Bowl, for some reason, everything slowed down. People got nervous about the economy, and all of a sudden, more inventory started hitting the Sacramento market. Now, Redfin data, which is always a couple months back, has released the idea that, yeah, inventory is stacking up. For me, it was kind of a no-brainer. We were talking to a lot of clients who just didn't feel secure about the market, and they were just not buying. They're just saying, you know what? Even with some new home incentives, still just, the timing just doesn't feel right. They didn't feel secure. They didn't feel right with the economy, and they were just like, no, we're gonna pass. We're gonna hold off for a little bit and see where everything goes. So for me, all this stuff that's coming on Redfin, where they're saying inventory levels are at surging and everything too, for me, it was kind of a no-brainer because I'm thinking to myself, okay, in spring and summer, normally, those are the months where we're seeing amazing demand. We weren't seeing anything. Inventory was hitting the market. A lot of those things were houses that were priced almost the same way they were priced like last summer, and they came back on the market. So all this inventory you're seeing as well too. And trust me when I say this, like if you talk to a lot of people looking, you're still not seeing that inventory that you're falling in love with. You're seeing inventory that might've been on the market like 3 months ago, a year ago, and it's coming back. So a lot of this stuff now is just kind of stacking up inventory. And that's kind of one of the things the numbers doesn't tell you. They'll say, oh, inventory is coming back. So people are making that assumption that it's all brand new inventory, and all the inventory that is hitting the market is going. And now we're getting new inventory, and it's just like inventory. There's a lot of retreads. Things are kind of piling up on the market. You got a lot of sellers who have their 2.75s, and they're saying, you know what? If it sells at this price point, good. If it doesn't, carrying costs aren't that much, and I'm living in my house, I'm good to go. And then you have the people right now, and these are the sellers that I think buyers are going to be able to have a field day with, are the sellers who saying, I really wanted that price for my house, but we're already in contract for a house in Phoenix. We need to sell the house now. And so I think what you're going to notice is, especially if interest rates stay where they're at, you're going to see some major price drops. We're getting a lot of people reaching out to the channel, you know, as far as like talking to us a little bit about doing, you know, kind of videos for their homes. Now, what you'll notice more than not is that when you see us doing a lot of home tours and everything too, normally it's because people will reach out to us and say, hey, look, I got a home. Can you do a tour of the house? Great move, smart realtor, give you guys 100% on that. But what you're noticing though is if you even look at the way the channel is kind of structured, as in like the videos I release, normally it's based on the calls and the activity of the week. Now, a lot of times now we're doing house tours because some of the houses just aren't moving. You know, Gabby's, the mid-century modern, was definitely moving. That thing flew. But for the most part, you're seeing a lot of these homes that are kind of just sitting. And what we're seeing right now more than not, like I said, is there's a division between sellers, the 2.75ers, and the ones who don't have big carrying costs, and the ones who basically need to sell their home. And we're getting to that moment right now. This is crunch time. I think in almost any market, but in Sacramento, it's definitely crunch time. This is the time that basically like you got to sell your house. If you want to sell your house, and if you have to sell your house, you've got maybe about 3 to 4 weeks to do it. That's your envelope right there. After that, people are taking their last vacation. And as we all know, a lot of the Bay Area buyers pack it up and say, you know what, we're not going to make it happen this year because we're already enrolled in the school. We're done, we're gone, we're out. So what you're going to notice more than not, and what normally happens is 4th of July, it's still active. After 4th of July, we get a little bit of a pop. And then towards the end of July, people are going on vacation and they're gone. Now, if these interest rates, like we're going to show you in a second, stay where they're at, it's going to be a dismal remainder of the year for sellers. If you are a seller that right now is looking to sell your home and you're getting an offer and you're saying, you know what, house has been on the market for 60 days, we're going to do a reduction, we're still not seeing what we want to see. I can tell you this, if interest rates are maintaining like around a 7%, and we get into October, November, and December, you're going to be like lucky to get what they're offering you right now, because it's going to flip into a buyer's market. And honestly, it's not going to bode well. So I would say for a lot of people, just understand, like in the Sacramento area, this is the crunch time. A lot of times, even 4th of July is a little bit dead. Now, for your buyers out there, like Tatiana, as far as good news goes, if you are someone that's maybe a cash buyer, if you're someone who's basically that doesn't mind, you know, these interest rates, and you have that faith that maybe one day you either do a buy down or maybe you can refinance later on down the road, this is going to be your market up to a point. Here's what I mean. Okay, so at a certain point, and this is what a lot of people won't tell you, they're going to say, oh man, prices are going to keep dropping, it's going to be chaos, we're going to see a crash. No. At some point in our market, what you're going to see is interest rates are going to start to come down. I don't know when that's going to be, month, 2 month, year, whenever it is. But when interest rates start to come down, there is going to be that number that's going to flip us kind of into almost like a feeding frenzy. What I mean by that is that you're going to see a whole lot of inventory hitting the market. And there's going to be inventory that's probably going to be stacking up because we're close to a 7% interest rate. And then all of a sudden, you're going to see rates eventually. Like I said, I'm not going to call this out because every one of their brothers calling this out. I'm not going to do that. But eventually, when rates start to dip down, there is going to be that number, whether it's 6.5, whether that's 5.9, something, where all of a sudden, all the people on the fence are going to say to themselves, this is as good as it's going to get. I'm going to go out there and start looking. That's going to set a little bit of a feeding frenzy for the inventory. So as much as I always tell you guys on this channel, do not time the market, time your life. I truly believe that. But I understand right now with the economic uncertainty, with people saying to themselves, like, I don't know how long I should be waiting. I mean, we want to buy, we got money in the bank. How's that looking? I'm going to tell you that there will be a moment where the market, if interest rates start to drop, where the market will switch. So I'm not telling you to buy now. I'm not telling you to buy in a month, but I'm going to say something that the market has never been more price. It hasn't, numbers are moving the market. And so I guess what I'm telling you guys is if we drop down into a situation for even maybe a week or two where we're in low sixes, you could all of a sudden see all the people on the fence, all the people who didn't qualify for a home at 7%, say to themselves, you know what, now's the time to strike. And once that happens, that could send an avalanche of people looking to buy, and it turns into a feeding frenzy. So just keep cognizant of that. Now, like I said, it's going to be some number, because even myself, okay, like I love my house, everything's great. But let's be honest, if I saw something that I really, really liked, let's say something like in Serrano or Granite Bay, and I saw it and I thought the value was 1.5 and it was being sold for like, let's say 1.3. And I said to myself, I think I could get someone to buy my house pretty easy, and I can jump into that house at 1.3, and rates started to dip. I might even jump out myself. So that's kind of what I'm telling you guys, just be very cognizant that there is going to be some number eventually when rates drop that's going to turn the tide, and people are going to start looking again to basically buy homes. Now, there are some problems with this market, like I have stated before. Baby boomers, they're not moving, and it makes perfect sense. I mean, the idea right now is that, like, let's say someone owns their home, or let's say they owe some money on their home and they're going to sell it, and then they're all of a sudden going to basically jump into a 7% interest rate. That just doesn't make sense. So I think a lot of these baby boomers, even though they have bigger houses than they probably need, 3,000 square feet, kids are in college, all that stuff too. Like, I still think right now, one of the biggest problems is that a lot of the baby boomers just don't have that smart play. And I think, honestly, they're just saying to themselves, you know what, we're in a good situation, either a low interest rate or they own their homes, and they don't want to jump into the insanity that is this real estate market. So that's one of the bigger problems we're seeing as well too. Like I said, like all the news, everyone's telling you, oh, inventory is crazy. Oh my God, there's tons of houses. They're really not the houses that you really like. I mean, maybe 1 out of 7 houses is going to be that house that, your jaw will drop on the ground and say, wow, that's the one for me. But a lot of these houses, you're going to see the photos. There's stuff that's been on the market before. There are things that are just being thrown on the market willy-nilly, no maintenance. And you're seeing a lot of sellers put the prices up a little higher than they should be. So, like I said, one of the main reasons is you got baby boomers. You got people with 2.75s and people who just are saying, you know what? I'm not getting out there in this market. I'm not getting a 7% interest rate. I don't care if I want a pool, if I want an extra bedroom. And for a lot of these baby boomers, I don't care if I need to downsize. The last thing I'm going to do is downsize and then end up at a 7% interest rate in a lesser house than I just sold. So that's one of the biggest problems we're seeing as well too in our market. Now, the other thing too, and this is kind of just to kind of give you guys a little idea of like what type of market we're in right now. And as far as like, people in general, people are keeping cash if they have it, right? A lot of people are paying off debt. A lot of people are getting into heavier debt. But what we're seeing more than not right now is normally, 2 years ago, you're seeing a lot of people and the norm was like 20%. No one wanted to deal with PMI. So you got a lot of these 20%ers who are like 20% down. I'm good. 30%. I'm good. Now, the crazy part is with these high interest rates, you'd think a lot of people would be throwing a lot more money to actually get their payment down. But a lot of people are just either keeping the cash because they're really, really nervous about the economy, or they just don't have the cash to put a down payment down. And I'm seeing this more than not with a lot of the clients that I'm working with. What we're noticing right now is down payments are just lower. They're just lower than they've ever been. A lot of people are going in at like 3%, 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%. That's kind of rare. So that's another big thing. And that's another huge indicator of the market. A lot of people, like I said, want to keep their cash. They're feeling the comfort of having cash in the bank at this point. They're not feeling comfortable in the stock market. They're not feeling comfortable in real estate. And that's just adding additionally to this economic uncertainty that a lot of people are feeling. In Sacramento, like I said, you're seeing a lot of crazy things happen. And like I said, I'm going to talk a little bit about Toll Brothers in a little bit towards the end of the video. Toll Brothers is doing this crazy like raffle thing where with their last 2 houses they have at Hidden Ridge too. I'll let you guys, we'll talk a little bit about that a little later. All right. So, and also people are just worried with all the stuff that's impacting the news, tariffs, affordability, everything is just so making everyone so nervous right now that as far as people looking to buy, people would rather just hold off for a little bit. There's not that urgency, that there was before, like, back in 2.75 days where everyone knew, or everyone, had that urgency of like, we got 2.75, let's buy a house. There's not that push. You know what I mean? A lot of people, a lot of buyers specifically are like, look, if I play this out correctly and I wait a little while more, won't sellers be a little bit more on the ropes and wouldn't prices drop? Which honestly might be a smart move. Like the only thing that can bite you in the butt on that was if interest rates start dropping. Now, for me, like I tell people all the time, especially on this channel, do your research, do your education piece of the puzzle, kind of figure out exactly what you're looking for. Bedrooms, bathrooms, communities, neighborhoods, PG&E versus SMUD, home insurance, figure out who you're working with for a lender. And we have great referral lender partners. So if you want to, like, let me know and I'll send you a referral list of our lenders. We also have contractors and everything too. So hit me for that stuff too. But for the most part, if it was me and I was saying to myself, look, it seems like the longer we wait, the better it's going to be for buyers, especially with these rates going high. Maybe we wait a little while till rates drop a little bit and then we benefit. We got the lower prices, maybe price drops, and we maybe got the lower rates. Maybe that makes more sense, which honestly, in this market, is completely a valid thought. You're going to hear a lot of realtors telling you, oh no, you'll lose out. But for me, I'd be looking at it the same kind of way. Like the only thing that I'm going to tell you is just make sure that you're watching the rates. Don't take that trip to Disneyland and not tune into like what rates are looking like, what inventory is looking like. Now, for me, if it was me and I'm saying to myself, look, I still want to buy a house in Sacramento. I'm not really sure exactly when I want to buy because as I see it, rates are probably going to be staying where they're at. Prices, I'm seeing a lot of inventory hitting the market and there's a lot of inventory that in days of market is piling up as well too. Like I want to take advantage of this. I will tell you guys this straight up, and I tell this to all my clients. If you're not buying now, get ready to pounce. But when you pounce on a listing, or a house, whether it's today, tomorrow, a month, a year, know what you're looking to get. Do your research right now. Figure out if you like Roseville, El Dorado Hills, if you like Rancho, if you like West Sacramento, if you like Midtown. Figure out those areas and key in on neighborhoods, communities that really do work for you. The people that I've seen that really win in any type of market are the people who know what they're looking for. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. We want a backyard. We want, no backyard, no neighbors in the backyard. We want some open space. We're looking for something that's maybe 2000 and above as far as newness goes. We don't want Mellorews. We don't want HOAs. Like figure out exactly what that list looks like for the house you want. Because if you're not ready to buy right now and you're thinking the market is going to get better for you, the last thing you want to do is honestly have rates drop and you're scrambling just to get a house. Know the house you want. For me, I'm a firm believer in that. When I was looking for my last move, I knew the community, the neighborhood, the floor plan, square footage. I knew exactly what I wanted. I even knew that I didn't want any backyard neighbors peeping in on me. So the house that I got, I made sure that all the neighbors had single stories and everything too. I did my due diligence to find the exact house I wanted to be in. So I would say for everyone out there too, do that. Figure out exactly what you want. Don't be pressured into buying right now, buying tomorrow. Time your life, don't time the market. But like I said before, if for some reason, like all of a sudden you're thinking the market could get better in the future, these warning signs like interest rates, like, all of a sudden days on the markets are shrinking, or the community neighborhood that you like, because there still are neighborhoods that are still popping. Houses are going for sale and they're going like crazy. No pricing, no neighborhoods, and just know how hot, the neighborhood and community that you're looking at are. Be realistic also. Now, when you're getting closer to the time to buy, this is a good one. Go to some open houses, Don't register. Don't do any of that stuff. I wouldn't, right? But I'd go to the open houses and see the type of traffic that's there. Like, let's say, for example, you're saying, you know what? We're going to buy in December, but I know what house I like. I know what community I like. So December is going to be the time that we're going to look to buy because this crazy guy named Mark on YouTube tells us December is a good time because everyone's celebrating the holidays. It's rainy. That could be a great time for us. And also job and everything too. December works for us. Go to some open houses when those houses pop up in that community, not to buy, but to do intel. Get your intel, figure out exactly what the activity looks like, figure out your pricing and everything too. Now, honestly, I would say also look and work with a realtor. Find a realtor you like, find a realtor you trust, find a realtor that maybe goes live every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. that you've been talking to on this live show, and see what that does for you. But now is that time, do your research piece 100%. All right, so let's get back to the thing about basically inventory levels. All right, so nationally, we're still below pandemic levels, 2019 inventory levels, minus 15.6 below April 2009. Some resale markets, in particular, big chunks of the Midwest, Northwest, still remain tight to. And inventory is going to be one of those things. I mean, if you can see right here, 2025, I mean, we are spiking with inventory. But like I said, the biggest thing that everyone reporting on these on this data, on this Redfin stuff, all this data, you know, that, oh my God, inventory is back. Guys, don't be fooled by the idea that it's brand new inventory. Every Friday, there's a million houses coming on the market for sale. The inventory we are seeing on the market is stuff that's been sitting there a while. A lot of it is. I'm not saying that there's no new homes, but for the most part, what you're seeing is inventory stacking up. Nobody who's talking stats is going to tell you that, because they're only going to look at this and say, wow, look, inventory is increasing. It's going to be nuts. A lot of people aren't focusing on the whole notion that a lot of that inventory is inventory that is actually piling up on the market and not new inventory. All right. Question. Boom. Hey, Mark, finally got a house in Gold River. Talk to your experience with any remodels, HOAs. You literally need approval for them on everything, even for interior paint. First of all, welcome to the neighborhood. Okay, so for interior wise, like I said, oh, I'm going to give you some Gold River horror stories. Okay, so check this out. I was getting my living room retiled, right? Even my chimney. So Saturday and Sunday are like a no-no in Gold River for any type of work in your house, right? So for me, I had the guy, I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. They're going to come in my house. They're going to keep all the tools. They're just going to work inside my house on Saturday. I kid you not, 8:15, I got a cease and desist from the HOA telling me they cannot work Saturday and Sunday inside the house. Now, that was horrible. Like, honestly, one of the worst experiences. I'm like, seriously, they actually had to pack up and leave. So it wasn't good. Now, what I will tell you about HOAs, as Gold River wise, like if you're in the Powell homes, they're a lot more restrictive. Like, for example, the backyard, your fence has to be painted brown, your pergola brown, everything too. In the backyard, I put concrete in. I didn't have to get HOA permission. Solar on my house for my pool, I definitely did. So there's some things that like you have to do, but there's certain things that you don't really have to deal with. Like interior wise, unless you're doing something structural, you should be good to go. Like as far as the flooring goes, as far as all that stuff, you should be fine. Interior paint, you're good to go. The big thing about Gold River is exterior stuff and any type of structural you're doing to your house, especially if you're in the Powell homes. So Powell homes are very sacred homes that they just basically maintain in Gold River. Now I have seen some structural stuff happen in Powell homes, really nice stuff, but they've had to go through the HOA planning committee. For me, it was a little ridiculous because I had to actually, it was solar. It was on my roof. It was pool solar. It wasn't even solar. It was pool solar. And it took me like 2 weeks to get it passed through the architectural committee. And honestly, they were almost like more bothered that I submitted it than I didn't. So that's kind of, now here's the thing though, I will tell you though, when you're working in Gold River, if you're working with contractors that are working in Gold River, and you'll see them, for the most part, here's what I tell people too when looking for contractors. If you're driving through your neighborhood and you're seeing a project, right? If you're seeing landscaping and you're thinking about landscaping, or if you're seeing a roof person and you're like, they're doing their work right now. More than not, I've walked in, I've talked to my neighbors and said, hey, look, do you mind if I take a look at what they're doing for you? I want to see if they can maybe do my house. Walk in there, gauge their work. If they do good work, I bring them over to my house. That's a huge tip that I found to be huge. The other thing too, is if you're working with people who actually have, kind of like have worked in Gold River a lot, they're going to know exactly the permit process. A lot of times, like let's say it's pool solar. I worked with Aztec Solar. They got the plans, they emailed the HOA, they kind of helped me take care of everything. It did take a little while, a lot of red tape, a lot of like just waiting, but for the most part, it was good to go. So for literally like for Gold River, I'd say anything on the exterior part of your home. You can't even change the color of your door. So I would say exterior wise, just check with the HOA. Interior wise, paint wise, like carpet, flooring, you should be good to go. Pergolas, you definitely need the architectural committee on that. And I know it sounds like a pain, believe me. I wish I could tell you it isn't a pain, but it is. The thing that kills me about Gold River though too is the parking. Parking is brutal too. Also, okay, one last thing before hopefully you just moved in and you can get this solved. There is also a big ordinance in Gold River right now of cracks. If you have a crack that I think is 1/8 higher than the next crack, they will actually make you redo your driveway. Concrete your entire driveway brand new. So, and that's like, I don't know, maybe like 12, 15,000, depending on if you use rebar or not. So just be mindful of that as well too. And like I said, you can hit me offline. I mean, like, you know, I don't really mind. I mean, honestly, like hit me up if you need contractors, if you need any advice about Gold River. I'm literally an open book. And since you already bought a house, I won't sell you a house. I'm good. Neighborly karma. I work that way. So if you need anything from me, just let me know. I'm at your disposal. All right. So let's go back to Zillow for a little bit. And if you guys have any questions, just ask them. I've been out and about all day today. I've been to Elk Grove. I've been to Rockland, Roseville, and then Folsom because we have a new listing coming to the market in Empire Ranch. Gorgeous views. We're going to do a stunning video of this house too. It's going to be awesome. All right. So Zillow's forecast for the hottest 50 U.S. markets in 2025 is put Buffalo, New York at number 1, Indianapolis number 2, towards the bottom, Sacramento 37. But we beat San Jose and we beat San Francisco. Like I'm telling you guys, this is mainly geared because of affordability. In Sacramento, my friends, is not as affordable as it used to be. And I think that that's one of the deterrents. And I think a lot of people might be switching gears to other spots, maybe in California, because, you know, with these high interest rates and this high, you know, in this crazy economic climate that we're in, I think people feel more comfortable not spending the median price point, at least, that we had got in Sacramento. So don't be worried too much though. Growth spurt happening in Sacramento all of a sudden will become a destination spot. Everyone's appreciation will increase. It'll happen. All right, I'm going to move to El Dorado Hills or Folsom, but I work mainly in the Bay Area. Ooh, JJ, you picked some winners there. All right, what do you guys think? Let's talk to JJ a little bit. What do you think, El Dorado Hills or Folsom? Great spots. I actually did a video with a buddy of mine, Sam Galovy, on both those spots. I like them both. I think El Dorado Hills has a little bit more of a resorty vibe to it. Folsom's a little bit like closer to stores and everything. The two biggest things though I'd say about Folsom comparatively towards El Dorado, PG&E for electric. Folsom, SMUD for electric. I'm on SMUD. Absolutely love SMUD. Half the price of PG&E, no brownouts, and I love it. Now, in El Dorado Hills, I would say also just make sure before pulling the trigger on a home, if you decide to go that direction, make sure you know exactly what that home insurance looks like. At times with El Dorado Hills, because it can be a little further out there, it can be a little bit of a bear. But I'll tell you something, you picked great spots. I think El Dorado Hills is just an amazing, probably one of the most beautiful spots in all the Sacramento area. I think Folsom, close to the water, community vibe. I mean, the school scene there. It's just, you picked some really, really good spots. And I think you'd like both. I think maybe, what else would I throw in there if I were you? Folsom, El Dorado Hills, probably like maybe check out Grant Bay, East Roseville, and maybe Rockland, maybe a touch of Loomis if you like the hallmarky vibe out there too. There's so many fun areas in Sacramento. All right, let's get into more stuff. And guys, hopefully you're enjoying this broadcast. If you are, smash that like button. It would mean a lot to me. Now, if you're someone who's looking for new homes, there are so many new home communities right now popping. And all the new homes, I'm going to tell you something. Majority, I would say at least 85% of the new homes are offering crazy incentives because, you know, they're not doing as good as they thought they'd be doing. I don't think demand for new homes is what it was maybe about 3 or 4 months. I'm seeing Lennar even co-op, so pigs do fly. And they're actually being very, very friendly to agents, which I'd never seen before. Now, here's a little bit of advice I will give you regarding homes. And like I said, we'd love to work with you guys if you are looking for a new home. And this is something to really watch. For 6 years, we've been selling new homes in the Sacramento area. Roseville, Rockland, El Dorado Hills, Plumas Lake, Linda, you name it. We've basically sold in that community. And we'd love to work with you. One of the things our team does that most other teams don't do is the fact that the builder will always pay our entire fee. If the builder pays $1 to your agent, that's what we get. Not like these new rules that make you sign a 2.5 or 3% buyer's commission. It takes money out of your pocket if the builder doesn't cover it. We are one of the only teams in the area where the builder pays our entire fee, so you never have to. Reach out to our team and we'll show you why we should be the team that you are definitely working with. All right, so one of the things that have been kind of irking me in the new home games is a lot of people, like, before a realtor can actually go and show you a home, they have to, legally, you got to sign a buyer's broker. So it's basically you kind of connecting yourself with a realtor. Now, a lot of the realtors will send you this blanket kind of, buyer broker that says, you know what, you're going to pay my commission 2.5 or 3%. Now, in resale, that's normal, standard protocol. But what I've been seeing more than not is a lot of realtors will have you sign this 2.5 or 3%. Now, let's say you buy a home. Let's say it's $1 million home. And let's say it's a Toll Brothers home. Let's say it's $1 million Toll Brother home. And you signed a buyer's brokers for, let's say, like 3%, right? So your agent gets 3%. Now, Toll Brothers straight up offers like $15,000 for your realtor as far as a fee. So what you'll notice at closing is, because you signed that 3% buyer broker, Toll Brothers will put in $15,000, and guess where that other $15,000 comes? It comes out of your pocket. And that's one of the things that's been really, really irking me, because even before this buyer commission thing and everything too, I've always strictly been whatever the new home pays, that's what our commission is. You will never pay a dime out of your pocket. But I've been seeing a lot of people, especially in these tough economic times, that they've been kind of squeezing buyers for additional commission. And for me, that's just brutal. So for you guys, just keep an eye out and watch for it. And like I said, we'd love to work with you. All right. I love the more family friendly, Folsom. I'm a big suburbia guy, but also looking for a bit of space. Ooh, okay, look, here's the thing I'll tell you, JJ. These are communities I'll tell you about. Briggs Ranch, love it. Rancho Diablo, love it. Lexington Hills, nice area, near open space as well, too. If you like views, I'd say like Empire Ranch is pretty good as well, too. It all depends. There's so many spots of Folsom that are community vibe and everything, too. I think, you could find it. I think, for me, Briggs Ranch is one of those communities that I would actually move into myself. No HOAs, no Mellorews, super close to Folsom Lake. Home insurance is not a bear over there as well, too. Nice community. So, JJ, when you're ready, we can have a little conversation. I can tell you about my top spots in Folsom that I really absolutely love. It's cool. It's really, really good. Oh, any news on Toll Brothers Vista Oaks? Okay, I did. I actually, I talked to, I'll call the person a birdie because I don't want to get them in trouble. So, okay, so there's 47 lots, and it's going to be basically not Hidden Ridge level. Hidden Ridge was basically their tippy top. Toll Brothers has different kind of like buildings. Like Hidden Ridge is like this, Preserve is like this. So they have different types of building, I guess you can call it, right? So what I heard more than not is that the Rockland community is going to almost be identically just like Folsom Preserve. I heard there's going to be 47 lots, like I said, but the floor plans and everything is going to be almost identical to Folsom Preserve. I mean, the lot sizes, even the floor plans are going to be somewhat like Folsom Preserve. So if that's like your thing and you like that, I think they're going to be a little bit more towards what's called, not towards, there's two collections there, not towards Oak Trails, I think it is, more towards the other one, like the Ramona, the Vulcan and everything too. I think it's going to be just like that, but it's going to be in Rockland. There's no view lots. It's all going to be flat land over there too. And it's going to be almost identical towards what you're seeing in Folsom Preserve, and it's going to be in Rockland. Now, as far as building goes, they should be basically gathering a waiting list, probably already online, but you should see probably like a trailer out there. My guess is probably within the next 3 to 4 months, if not sooner. They're really hot to go on this one. Now, the one Eldorado Hills, the ones with acre lots, that's going to take a little longer, and those ones will start at $2 million. Now, Amber, because you're awesome and you tuned in again to ask your question, I'm going to tell you about something that this little birdie told me as well too. Supposedly, there is a newsletter that's going to go out tomorrow. Now, the newsletter is going to basically give people the option to bid on the last 2 homes at Toll Brothers Hidden Ridge. What that means is the highest offer is what they're going to take for those homes at Hidden Ridge. Now, this is not, I was told about this, but I was also told that the mailer would go out tomorrow. So I found this really, really interesting. So my buddy over there, just basically said like, this could be an amazing opportunity to get a Toll Brothers house at a very realistic price. So, this could be interesting. So I would say if you are a fan of Toll Brothers and you heard it first here on this channel, as you guys always do, I swear every new home community has been hitting me left and right. Yeah, Toll Brothers. It's going to be a bidding thing. And what I've heard is the highest bid will get the house. And there's a Sierra involved in the promotion, and there is an Olympus. So I'm probably going to get yelled at for Toll Brothers by releasing this information before their mailer. But if you were on their mailing list about Hidden Ridge, you should get an email about this tomorrow. If not, feel free to text me or call me tomorrow. I'll get all the details for you. But it could be a chance to get yourself Olympus, which is our biggest floor plan. I mean, imagine getting an Olympus floor plan in Hidden Ridge, $690 Melrose for the entire year for like $1 million. I mean, I know, and trust me, I know $1 million is still a big chunk of change, but imagine getting it for like $1 million when its appraised value is maybe 1.5 or 1.6. So it could be a smoking deal. And like I said, I'll let you guys know a little bit about that. Now, Amber, I also asked about floor plans, and they kind of shut me down as far as the floor plans go. But as soon as I get floor plans of that Toll Brothers community in Rockland and in El Dorado Hills on this channel, you will see it first before anyone else. So hopefully that helped you guys out. And like I said, this promotion that they're going to do at Toll Brothers, crazy. If you guys are Toll Brother fans, if you guys love that stuff, if you're on the mailing list, hopefully you get the mailer tomorrow. If not, you know who to reach out to. I'll get you all the information and everything too. I'll get you everything as I hear it. All right, so here we are. We are in a nice little rate. It's going up, it's going down, sticking by sevens. I don't know. Do I think we're going to see a drop anytime soon? I talked to a couple lenders, and they're thinking it might drop towards the end of the year. I don't know. But I'm telling you guys this straight up right now. Be very cognizant of this. I think as we get closer to 6%, flat 6%, you could all of a sudden see the market kind of triggered in, depending, of course, how the economy is, job situation, and if we feel a little bit more stability in our economy. But I'm telling you guys straight up, like, this is going to be interesting. And everyone's saying, oh, inventory is what you should be looking at. It's inventory. Eventually, you're going to see enough houses on the market, and it's just going to be kind of a redundant thing. Rates are going to dictate how many people qualify to buy houses, and rates are going to get people those payments if rates start to drop, that they can actually say, you know what, let's go for it. So if there's ever a time to be very cognizant of a rate drop that could move the market, that could be it. Now, that's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, we stay around 7 all year long. That is not going to be good for sellers. Buyers are going to definitely benefit from that, because you're going to see those sellers who have to sell their homes probably start discounting, dropping prices. For the new home stuff, honestly, like, if rates stay where they are right here and we go into the season where it's like rainy and this Q4 of this year, you probably can make out like bandits. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, hopefully everyone's cognizant of all that stuff. And I think, the buyers I talk to, maybe you guys watch the show a lot. Hopefully you do. But I think you guys are really, really savvy about what to expect. And I just, like I said, I'll go back to it and I'll tell you, there's, a lot of people are just feeling like, look at this inventory curve. I mean, it's going more inventory. Rates are staying pretty much where they're at. Demand is still low. There's no urgency for people to buy right now. We're kind of getting past our like really crunch time of we need to move before school starts. It's not going to bode well if interest rates stay where they're at. And the inventory, and like I said, for all the sellers out there, I'm telling you, like, straight up, have your realtor do videos, social media, marketing. The amount of houses that we've been selling from videos and YouTube is just unbelievable. Those extra eyeballs are the ones who might not have known about Sacramento, might not know what they can get in Sacramento. These videos that we do sell definitely like a lifestyle, and they definitely work. So I'd say anything additionally that you can do it. All right, thinking about retiring to Sacramento area from Maryland, like Grant Bay, Fair Oaks, Arden Arcade, El Dorado Hills. Want a friendly neighborhood with walking access to trails or a park. All right, so let's go through some of the lists you said. Grant Bay. I think Grant Bay is nice, and I think it's like, there's walking and everything too. The thing about Grant Bay, though, is like they build big houses over there too, for the most part, right? Now and again, you'll see maybe smaller homes, but it's like, it's hard to find anything in Grant Bay, like underneath like maybe 3,000 square feet. They're just big houses, and they're spread out, right? So like, they're spread out almost at times ridiculously spread out. Grant Bay is a great spot. I'd say as far as all the areas you mentioned, Grant Bay and El Dorado Hills, the price point are probably neck and neck, probably the highest in the area. I would say, okay, let's hit down the list a little bit too. Grant Bay, you know, school wise, you're close to the shopping. Roseville tends to be our biggest hub for shopping. It's nice. Fair Oaks for me, love Fair Oaks. I think Fair Oaks is nice central. I mean, I think there's areas like Currow Downs, Phoenix Fields, where you can get something there for maybe like, I don't know, maybe like $750,000, $800,000 for like a 4-and-2 cute house, walkable. Fair Oaks is like the area of all these cool trees and everything too. Currow Downs, close to Sailor Bar, Phoenix Fields, really, really nice area as well too. Granite Bay, I would say Granite Bay is a hard one to get in under $1 million. And it's not saying this or that. It's just kind of giving you some stats. Arden Arcade, love the area. Kind of what you're going to see there in Arden Arcade is kind of more older build homes. Really nice area. I've done a lot of videos of that. You're going to see like kind of ranch style, mid-century modernish kind of homes out there too. Nice pieces of land out there too. I think Arden Arcade is really, really nice. El Dorado Hills. The only negative on that Grant Bay with El Dorado Hills, I'd say those are the two areas that you have to do with PG&E. And PG&E is like twice as much as SMUD. And you got these things that are like, you know, brownouts where all of a sudden they shut down power for like half the day because if, you know, it just during the summertime. So that's something just to be aware of. The other thing about Grant Bay and El Dorado Hills, they tend to be those two areas that are a little bit more pricey than not when it comes to home insurance. Not everywhere in Grant Bay, not everywhere in El Dorado Hills, but definitely check that out. I think all those are winners. The other ones I'd probably throw out there would maybe be, if you like Grant Bay, maybe throw in Loomis. I would say you might like Auburn. Auburn's kind of cute as well too. I'd say Fair Oaks. You might want to throw in Carmichael to that as well too. And if you're thinking of Arden Arcade, maybe the Pocket, Greenhaven might be nice. East Sacramento, no, East Sacramento's a little too, it'd be hard to find a house that had land. I would say maybe Sierra Oaks. So there's some great spots, Paul. I mean, you're going to love the area. Like I said, I'm a transplant myself. I came in from the Bay. I love it here. I think you're going to find, you know, the community vibe. I think you're going to find walking's really big here. Sacramento, how I describe it, maybe except for like your midtowns or some of the more areas that are like, you know, everyone stays out later. It's like a giant suburb. Community, concerts in the park. There's fun things to do. There's great restaurants, but it's a very kind of a nice, chill, slow paced vibe around here. Like I said, for me, I just love the pace from coming from the Bay Area here. And I think you'll probably like it too. The people are really, really friendly. So yeah, like I said, it's a fantastic spot. And if you're thinking about coming out here and, you know, you're saying to yourself, I want a great tour. I wanted to see all these spots and even those other spots Mark was talking about, let us know. We put together some of the best tours in all the Sacramento area. One of the things for us is because I've been doing YouTube for so long and we've covered so many areas, we work with a lot of people, and sometimes our tour takes us to Davis, to Woodland, to Loomis, to Auburn. So we've sold and we've listed in almost every single spot in the Sacramento metro, which gives us a little bit of a good advantage than other teams. Because if you say, hey, I like Rockland, I like this, what do you think? What else do you think I'd like? We can hit you with like at least 5 other things that are comparatively towards that. So that's kind of one of the things we like to do with our clients, is the fact that not only can we sell in Grant Bay, we have sold in Grant Bay, we've listed in Grant Bay, El Dorado Hills, you name it, we basically covered it. So, you know, when you're ready, reach out. All right. Do Sacramento locals hate on the Bay Area transplant, or is it a myth? I will tell you this, they don't hate you when you come to buy their house for cash. No, I'm joking. I think right now, you know, I don't, you know, I'm from the Bay Area, and now and again on this channel, I get some people saying the Bay this, the Bay that. I think it might be a lot of people right now who maybe miss the envelope to buy a house in Sacramento. See, here's the thing. A lot of people like grew up in Sacramento, and I think I grew up in Marin, and it kind of happened to me as well too. A lot of people grew up in Sacramento. They were raised here and everything too. And then all of a sudden, I think a lot of people here in Sacramento were renting. A lot of people probably were thinking, you know what, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to buy a house in a little bit. I'm going to save up some money. And then prices went crazy. Now, was it the Bay Area people that did it? Absolutely not. In fact, the Bay Area people moving in here, I mean, paying the prices they did, you guys helped so many people jump to their next house. And so, and you brought in other foods, like, you know, you guys were the catalyst for so many amazing things that happened in the Sacramento area. So for me, like I said, now and again on this channel, I'll get a couple of the Bay Area this, Bay Area that. But honestly, for me, I see a lot of 49er hats. I see a lot of San Francisco Giants hats. I see a lot of Warriors, even though we got the Kings here. Honestly, I don't really see it myself, or at least like to my face. Now and again, like, on this channel, I get a comment or two, but for the most part, no. And I'll tell you one thing though, Sacramento people will definitely be smiling ear to ear when they list a home on the market, especially a market like this, and they're saying to themselves, man, who's going to buy my house? And then someone from the Bay comes in, falls in love with the house, pays for the house, and then you're all good. So no, I think you're good. Paul, hey, no problem, Paul. And like I said, I'm a Sacramento enthusiast. So when you get here, if you want to talk a little Sacramento, I can give you straight up, unfiltered, transparent, like talk about Sacramento. That's kind of all I do. I mean, Sacramento has been great to me. My only complaint about Sacramento would probably be that I didn't make the move sooner. I got kind of like caught up with all the stuff that people say about Sacramento, like, it's this, it's that, and everything too. And then I got here and I felt very, very like misled, I guess you could say. I got here to Sacramento and I was like, everyone's been waving, saying hello. I've been meeting people who've moved in from other areas. Everyone seems very, very friendly. And then I was looking at the houses you can buy here. I was looking at the various areas like Serrano, golf courses, lakes, mountain bike trails, like street bike trails. And I was looking at the suburban vibe here, right? Like the idea that like, if you want to, you can go to like movie night in a park. You don't have to pay for it. You just walk on down and there's like a pop-up big screen. Someone's putting a movie there. You pull up with your cooler full of food, beverages, and you can hang out and watch the movie and your neighbors are there. I mean, they shut down blocks in certain communities for 4th of July. I mean, up in Curro Downs, they have like a bingo party and like poker nights and everything too. I mean, like, this is the stuff that for me, I grew up in Marin, and Marin lost that a long time ago. But I thought it was gone for good. When I moved to Sacramento, I found that and I was just so happy, that like my daughter gets to be raised that way, with like us going to swim team and all the families there, and it's an all day affair. And after that, everyone gets together and goes to someone's house, and then all the kids are playing. Or myself, I got a beach cruiser and I go down the street and I'm waving at the neighbors. How's it going? And it's just, I don't know. It's not a small town, but it feels like a small town here in Sacramento. So I absolutely love it here. All right. Just moved to Sac and we'd be looking to buy a house next year, currently on a year lease. When would be a good time to start looking at the market? All right. So if you're thinking about making the move, looking to buy a house next year, depending on the year, depending on what time next year, I would say for me, I always say like probably like maybe 3 months before you're going to really go out on your first tour, kind of start talking to a realtor, like hopefully me, talking about areas, talking about what you're looking for specifically, and just kind of getting the 411. What I find helps more than anything is just having those organic conversation where, like, let's say, for example, you see a house or you see a community and you're like, hey, Mark, and I get this a lot. Hey, Mark, I was on your show like 2 weeks ago and I'm thinking about Curro Downs. What do you think about it? I mean, literally, you don't even have to tell me your name. And I'll just start talking to you about Curro Downs, pros and cons, my experience, all that kind of stuff too. And then you'll either go like, woo, that's exactly what I've been looking for. Or you'll say, not really my style. I'm kind of looking for this. And then I'll kind of guide you to other communities you might be looking at. And then that process will just kind of like, end up kind of going in tours of like neighborhoods. Go to tours of neighborhoods, check out like if it's a street by street community, go there during the morning, go there during the night, figure out traffic cycles, figure out where food is, go to eat in the area as well too. Do your due diligence so that when you buy your house, like you're not saying, man, I'm only going to be here for a few years, I'm good to go. Think of it like this, or at least this is how I like to look at it. If you're going to buy a house, think of it as like this is the house you're going to be in forever. This is it. I love my house. There's no way I'm leaving my house. This is it. If you have that mentality, like we'll work with you every step of the way to get you there. So for you, I'd say 3 months before you plan on doing your like first tour, can't even talk, first tour, give us a call. Let's have some conversations about it. We'll give you we'll get like, usually my conversations with people who reach out are, what do you like? What do you like? What is your thing? Are you people who like to have Netflix nights? Are you guys who like to be active mountain biking? Do you have to be close to Tahoe? Where is your work located? Do you have to go to the Bay Area 1 day or 2 days a week? Do you like fishing? Like, what is your thing? Because I mean, Sacramento, if you look at it on paper, you can say like Sacramento is just tract homes. That's it. Furthest thing from the truth. I mean, like Elk Grove, different than El Dorado Hills. Folsom is different than Roseville. Maybe not as much, but yes. So there are these little areas that if you tell us exactly what your lifestyle is, exactly what you're looking for, we'll find them for you. I mean, like I said, we've sold and we've worked in almost every single area. So if you say something, chances are I'll know exactly at least 5 or 6 communities for you to check out. And then when you start feeling comfortable, after our first date, if it goes well, then we just do a Zoom call. We start talking to you a little bit more and planning out kind of a strategy to get you into your forever home. We're never going to rush you. We're never going to tell you, hey, you should buy right now. We believe more in education. We're going to educate you for what we know: areas, communities, price points. Is this good pricing? Is this bad pricing? How long should I wait? Days on the market, all that kind of stuff too. We're going to supply you with all that so that one day you'll look at us, look at me, and basically say, hey, Mark, you know what? I found my house. I found my community. I found my neighborhood. I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's go. If we can get you there, that's the exact way I would want to be treated if I was buying a home. I wouldn't want to be told this is what I should buy. I wouldn't want to be pressured into it. I wouldn't want to have my realtor treat me like I should be buying something just because they're showing me the house. I don't believe in that. I wouldn't want to be treated that way. We educate you. We show you amazing communities. We know what your lifestyle is. And eventually you'll turn to us and say, hey, that's a house for me. And there we go. It's perfect. It works perfectly. And honestly, if we can get you a house like that, which we've done for a lot of people we've worked with, that's just, that makes the job so much more fulfilling. So I don't know, reach out. All right. Boom. El Dorado Hills is the best area. Shopping, grocery stores, Sutter Creek Steakhouse, Folsom, Applebee, Apple Hill area are really nice to have nearby. I'll tell you something. It's hard. Here's one of the things I will tell you straight up. It's hard. I mean, have you guys noticed how it's a hard one? Do I like Folsom? Do I like El Dorado Hills? Do I like Roseville? Do I like Rockland? I mean, the beautiful part about Sacramento is there's so many choices and there's so many great places to live. There's not just like that one spot, that's a one spot you got to live. Everything else, no, this is the one area. There's pros and cons to every single spot in the Sacramento area, whether it's affordability, whether it's schools, whether it's location, whatnot. That's the thing that's beautiful about Sacramento. Like Clayton, you're telling me like El Dorado Hills is the best area. I guarantee you I can get another person here probably within 5 minutes going like Folsom's the best. And you're both right. That's the coolest thing about it. And you'll find your spot in Sacramento. For anyone out there who's thinking about relocating here and you think that you're going to come here and be disappointed, you're not. I'll tell you, we worked with so many people that drive out here and they are just like, yeah, Sacramento. And they're leaving looking at houses and planning their next trip. Sacramento is an amazing place. And if you are hearing different about that, come up here and take a look at it for yourself. I mean, I made the mistake of buying into the negative hype and I stalled my trip out here to Sacramento. When I came out here, I discovered that everything everything that people said about Sacramento was wrong. And I realized that I should have made the move earlier and I didn't. So I'd say for you guys, before you decide to like poo-poo Sacramento and say, Sacramento isn't for me, come out here, take a tour and just check out what this amazing spot is all about. And if you don't like it, hey, it's all good. No harm, no foul. But if you do come out here and you find a great spot to live, I'm going to tell you something. When rates start to drop, whenever that is, and we get all these amazing cool things like the Folsom Sports Center, Whitney Ranch Retail Center, we got what's called all the stuff happening at the rail yards, new soccer, everything happening in Sacramento, you might not be able to move in because at that point in time, the prices could shoot up like crazy. So just keep that in mind. All right. Which area has the highest amount of greenery? Looking for trees for all the windows in the house I buy. Ooh, okay. That is a great question. Okay. So I would say if you are looking for greenery and kind of lush, Auburn's pretty good like that, right? But Auburn's a little further away. I'd say areas like your Loomis, your Newcastles, those are like a little bit more farmy and out of the way. And you're going to see a lot of greenery out there, but that's a lot of land, right? Now, if you're looking for just like trees, walkability, all that stuff, I'd say Fair Oaks, great price point. I think areas like Phoenix Fields, like Crow Downs, I'd say that those spots are good too. I'd say also some of the other areas like, what's called your Arden Arcade has some nice walkability, walking streets, older house styles. But I would say if you're looking for greenery straight up, I would say Fair Oaks. I'd say Fair Oaks could be that spot. I mean, if you're looking for greenery and you're looking for like the Sacramento River, I mean, you got the Pocket right there as well too, Pocket Greenhaven. So there's a lot of spots in Sacramento that has greenery. I mean, right now I'm sure there's a lot of people like, in East Sacramento and Land Park that are like, have you ever seen William Land Park? There's just so many spots. But I would say bang for your buck if you're looking for like a city or suburb in the Sacramento area where more than not a house is going to be surrounded by greenery, green trees and everything too. I would say Fair Oaks. I'd say Fair Oaks probably would be that spot. And it doesn't put you too far out from anything too. It's that spot that kind of like you're going to be there and, you're not gonna be too far from stores, but you're going to feel serene. I guess if that makes sense, right? You're going to feel a little bit like you're not close to anything, but you really are. Now, another one too, and, beware of the HOAs and, it's a little Stepford, Gold River. I mean, you're going to see greenery everywhere in Gold River, but the HOAs can be as much as like 350, 450. So just keep that in mind. But I would say those areas, like I said, I don't think you'll have a hard time finding a place with green trees and everything too. Like I said, you can go Carmichael, you can go Citrus Heights. Oof, you can go to a lot of spots in Sacramento to have that. But I'd say your best bet, I'm going to call it right here. Boom, Fair Oaks. All right. So this is a house that I saw on Zillow, and I said to myself, this is a solid house. 4-bedroom, 2-bath. Everything looks so dialed in this house too. Really, really beautiful. If you guys are looking for something in Roseville, I'm going to tell you something. This is a beautiful, beautiful house. They just did a price cut, $9K. And like I said, here's the address right here if you guys want to take a look at it. But this is the hot home of the evening. 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1720 square feet, single story, 2-car garage. Really, really nice. Motivated seller, price improvement. So you can see a lot of these too. But I would say, based on what I've been seeing out here in Zillow land as stuff goes, like all our listings are basically have already been taken care of. We have a few coming to the market, but I would say definitely check this one out. It could be a good spot for you. All right, let's go to this one. Boom. What are your thoughts on Rancho, Antolia, Sunrise? I think the Antolia area, I think that whole area is nice. I think, how can I say this? Okay, so this is how I would describe everything as far as that goes. Like, I think Anatolia in that area is almost like a satellite to Folsom and everything too, even though it's in the Elk Grove Unified School District. I think Vineyard is almost a satellite of Elk Grove. I think like Antelope is almost a satellite of kind of like Roseville as well too. So I think you're seeing these areas. It depends on what you like, right? If you're someone who really, really loves Folsom, but you don't want to spend $750, $800,000 for a house, I think Rancho is a great option. I think Rancho, that Anatolia area, the community vibe is really, really good. I like that. I think the price point is amazing over there too. I think KHOV came in, started building like some like back in the day, like high $400,000 houses. And I think it turned Rancho into one of the more affordable, that Anatolia area, one of the more affordable areas for first-time home buyers. I think Rancho in that area, well, let's just call it Anatolia, that area has the most incentives for new home builders. I think you can get a deal there straight up. I think things you need to do research on as far as like rendering plans, all that stuff too. Amazon centers right there. So you get your package, the first one. But I like the vibe out there. I think the community feel is really, really good. I think also because there's so much building activity, if you're someone who's looking for a new home, here's the builders right here. Taylor Morrison is coming to that area. Right now, you got Beazer, you have Tri-Point, you got Woodside, you got KHOV, you got Pulte, and I think you got another one, Crestley over there as well too, and you got Lennar. So you have all those builders in Rancho, so they're super competitive. They can get you great incentives. I think that area is very up and coming. I think it probably, if I looked at it on paper, I think it's probably the best bang for your buck in all of Sacramento, especially if you're looking for like a brand new home. Now, if you're looking for a little bougie building in Rancho, I would say Premier Homes and Crestley Homes were the two, more kind of like that level of building in the Rancho area. But for me, if I was looking to move into the Rancho area too, I'd be targeting maybe like 500 to maybe like 720. I think that's the sweet spot for Rancho right now too. I think for what you get, Elk Grove Unified School District, back roads to Folsom in about 12 minutes. Community vibe. You got a lot of brand new parks, very suburban, 12 minutes to Costco, 18 minutes from like Zinfandel where you got Target and everything too. I think honestly, if you're looking for something and you're looking for a first time home or you're looking for something in the 5s or low 6s, I mean, that's where you go. I think one of the things about West Roseville is I think West Roseville is a little too spread out. And I don't think I'm seeing as many incentives in West Roseville. Because like the 3 spots I'd say where you're going to get incentives and you're seeing a lot of movement in new home, like incentives and like promotions is going to be Vineyard. It's going to be West Roseville and it's going to be Rancho. But Vineyard right now doesn't have too many builders. So it kind of like is at a pause. Now, another one coming up is Natomas. Natomas is starting to build out there too again. Meritage. And then you have like Lennar out there. That I don't know what's going on with Lennar out there. North Lake is just bombing right now too. But I'd say Rancho, as far as I've seen, and like I said, we're dropping a video this Friday about the 5 best communities in all of Sacramento with the best incentives. That's going to be on Friday at 7 p.m. But I would say Rancho, Anatolia, that whole like, you know, that area, I think it's great. I mean, if it's me and I'm thinking I want to get my first time home, I want one of those monster incentives that I can't get anywhere else. Rancho's where you go. And like I said, I'm going to probably like circle again, Elk Grove Unified School District. You're close to Folsom. Stores aren't that bad. Community vibe. I mean, it's kind of got it all. So, and the best thing about that area too, you're close to an Amazon Supercenter. So literally you order a package and it will be there in an hour. So that ain't too bad. All right. Now, one of the things I have been noticing about this market, and you guys feel free to keep asking questions, is that a lot of people right now are struggling as far as selling homes. A lot of people are struggling and they're wondering if they should even list their homes at all. I'm going to tell you something straight up, and this is no BS. We keep it 100 on this channel. You need to have, and you need to work with listing agents that just bake cookies. You need agents who do better than the open houses, flyering, neighborhood specialists. You have to do better than that. I'm going to tell you guys, maybe you're not working with our team, but you should work with a team that actually knows social media, can market. You saw the way Gabby sold that mid-century modern home in like one weekend because she utilized all her social media talents and her pool of friends. Social media is going to be that thing that is either going to get your house sold, and if you don't use it, it's going to be that house that gets mixed up with all the other inventory on the market. So I would say to anyone out there, just think about if you're going to list your house, or right now, if you're struggling not selling your house, working with a team that can get you on YouTube, get you those buyers that maybe aren't even considering Sacramento, maybe haven't even checked out Zillow, but they're seeing this amazing house, and all of a sudden they're thinking to themselves, maybe I need to check this house out. We've sold tons of houses with these videos, and honestly, like in this market specifically, you got to go the extra mile, especially if you're trying to sell your home. Like I said, a lot of realtors can list homes. Guys, we've been selling homes with YouTube videos. Selling your home shouldn't be a guessing game. We've used one tool to sell homes again and again, our YouTube channel. It's the biggest in Sacramento and buyers are watching every single day. One video, thousands of views, one sold home. It's a pattern we've seen work time and time again. Our team doesn't just list, we market, promote, and sell. Reach out today and let's get started on selling your home with a strategy that works. All right, let's go to this. Okay, so here's the thing. That whole area in Anatolia is Rancho's next to toxic EPA Superfund site, and the groundwater is polluted. Yikes. I would say this. Here's the thing. I think a lot of people do talk about Rancho in this way. They talk about Kiefer. They talk about rendering. I would say, if anything, like when you get a house, no matter where it is, whether it's like Folsom Ranch or whatever, you get a natural hazard, NHD, natural hazard disclosure. And basically it tells you about everything, every type of pollutant, everything that basically is kind of part of that area, no matter where you're buying your house, right? And so I would say look over that, because that thing is basically California. That is basically telling you exactly what's wrong with the land, if there is anything. So that way there's no real guesswork. The other thing too, for anyone who's looking to buy a house that's worked with us, you're going to know that we got all the flags in all the areas, and we'll let you guys know kind of what's going on as well too. So just kind of keep all that stuff in the back of your head. I would say more than anything though, just do your due diligence before purchasing a house. Go to greatschools.org. And also, like I say, don't let so much of this information, unless it's like really, really kind of like out there and you're seeing it and you're experiencing it. Like, I guess what I'm saying is check the NHD report, take a look at exactly what you're buying, figure that out. There are things for me. Yeah. I mean, completely, like, you know, some of the stuff, the power towers being close by, there are things that are flags for me as well too. I would just say for me, if I was me and I was looking to buy a house, one is I'd work with a real estate team that was completely transparent with them when buying a new home or a resale home, like our team. Or I would also go through that NHD with a fine-tooth comb and figure out exactly every little thing that thing reports and ask my questions and do my due diligence before I purchased anything in any part of the entire world. That's what I would be doing. All right. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Here we go. All right. And Jesse, I have such a bad taste in my mouth for realtors. The guy I trusted just listed my home and never showed the home. Someone else from another realty sold the home. Made me believe all realtors. Yeah. I mean, look, here's the thing. I'll say this. Like, I get it. Trust me when I say this. Like, there are a lot of realtors. I mean, there's a lot of realtors that I like, but there's also a lot of realtors that are just brutal. I mean, right now we're in a situation where we have an amazing client that wants a house in Folsom, and we submitted an offer, and the realtor is actually in Europe and they're not responding. And I know these people want to sell their home, but because they're working with a listing agent that basically is MIA, they're not even getting the offer, and there's not a whole lot you can do. So yeah, I get it. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, I would say realtors in general, you know, there are some things just be aware of. I'd say like one is make sure if you call them, they pick up their phone right away, how responsive they are. I'd say take a look at reviews. I'd say interview them, interview a few of them and everything too. Check references. It's hard, but sometimes, you know, you'll get a bad, yeah. I wish I could tell you realtors in general were just like, you know, but it's also a tough market here too. So you're looking at a lot of people who are struggling, trying to make a check, and it's hard. And I don't blame you. Like, I wish I could tell you something like, no, you just got one bad apple. But as far as realtors go, I've seen really great realtors, don't get me wrong. And normally I shout them out. And I've seen realtors who I say to myself, like, you shouldn't be doing real estate. For me, one of the worst ones are like part-time realtors who kind of like have their main job, and so they don't have those hours to help to really actually do stuff for their client. That just drives me absolutely nuts. So I understand your pain, honestly. Like, I get it. For me, one of the things I do straight up, and this is how we work with our anyone we work with as far as listing a home or any buyers, we always throw this out there. If for some reason, even though we have a listing agreement for 6 months or whatever, like if at any moment you're like, I don't want to sell my home, or, hey, Mark, you know what? I don't guys with gray hair. I want to get on my listing agreement. Cool. I'll rip it up. And you got this video that you could show back saying that I said that. I don't want anyone working with me that doesn't want to work with me. And I've never had anyone cancel out. So honestly, I would say this to you, like, you know, I wish I could say better things about a majority of the people in real estate right now that I'm around, but it's a tough market. And I'd say definitely watch who you work with. It's not easy. For me, I always tell people this. I'm like, you know, look, here's the thing. I go live every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. If I did bad business, believe me, YouTube people would be spamming me like crazy. Oh, this guy's horrible. Never work with this guy. So for me, this is what you see is what you get. This is it. And I don't block people. I don't really delete comments unless they're political or they're rude. This is what it is. So for me, one of the reasons why I did this live show wasn't just because I know my stuff in real estate so well that I don't need to cut scenes and add this and this and everything too. I didn't need 5 takes to tell you how the market is. I do this show to basically, one is go live in front of everybody and just basically talk about Sacramento, and also have an open forum where people, if I did bad business, would pop on this forum and say, this guy's horrible. Don't work with him. And they don't. So for me, this is my biggest referral tool. This is my biggest proof in the pudding. It's better than Zillow reviews. It's better than all that stuff. I show up every single Wednesday at 7, answer any single question that people throw at me. I don't have to cut the video. I don't need 5 takes in this video. And if I did bad business, this is exactly where they'd come to basically slam me, and they don't. And I've been doing this live show for what, maybe like 3 years, every single Wednesday. It was at 5:30, now it's at 7. So hopefully that made you feel a little bit better about real estate, realtors. Or as my daughter says, Daddy, you're a real estater. So that's what I do. You're honestly changing the perspective. Good, I'm glad. And like I said, you're gonna find good people and bad people in almost every single profession. I would say though, now in this type of market where, like I said, like I was telling my entire team, we had a conversation. I'm like, this isn't the market where it's like, hey, look at this house, go buy this house and you're good. This is a market where you have a lot of people that are just uncertain. A lot of people that are very nervous about the market. You have to understand that's how they're feeling. This is a huge purchase. And with the country being the way it is, the economy being the way it is, job situation, people just feel nervous. What we can do, and the main thing that we can do as our job, is to educate them, answer any questions they might have. And then at the end of the day, they're going to time their life. They're not going to time the market, hopefully. And if the choice is right and the time is right for them, they're going to buy a home, but it's on them. Our job isn't to sell. Our job is to educate, answer any questions, and do just a smidge of real estate therapy, which we're really good at. I should have got a minor in that. Susana Flores. Guys, if you are someone if you speak Spanish, and I can speak Spanish, yo puedo hablar español. If you speak Spanish, Susana, she is a bilingual loan agent who is a rock star. She's 24/7. She is amazing. Susana, if you could, put your phone number down in the chat. She is a loan officer that honestly, 100-degree weather, she's out there doing open houses with realtors. She's a hustler. She's amazing. I definitely recommend her. If you guys are looking for a loan officer, if you're looking for someone who's maybe bilingual too, Spanish, English, Susana is awesome. Boom. Ivan, you're truly one of the most informative real estate YouTube shows in NorCal. Thank you, Ivan. I appreciate it. I try, and like for me, I have a crazy background as far as education wise. I studied business and history, which I really loved in college. And then I taught at various colleges, Sacramento State, San Francisco State, and College of Alameda. One of the things I really love is, like, for me, when I stop doing my show or I'm relaxing for a second, I love the History Channel. I love kind of digesting what's exactly happening in the market. And so for me, a lot of times, I'll just watch like Bloomberg. I'll like watch all this stuff and I'll just kind of come to these conclusions, and I'll see the information, and then I'll mesh that kind of with all the calls and all the clients I'm working with. And then I'm able to give you guys kind of like a real-time data about what's going on in the market. See, here's the thing for me. I don't really like the idea of just throwing stats at people. I think stats are only part of the whole like equation on everything. I also think it's conversations you're having. I think it's market sentiment. I think it's buyer experience, seller experience. I think it's new homes. All these things play a key role into our real estate market. I think interest rates are part of it. Inventory, what true inventory is out in our market. And I think all those pieces of the puzzle need to be presented to you guys. It can't just be, hey, look at this graph. Inventory's up. Oh my God, buyers should buy right now. I don't believe in that, because there's so much more at play than just inventory levels. What type of inventory? What type of pricing is this inventory at? How long has it been on the market? Is this inventory you should buy? So my live broadcast is basically myself digesting and kind of like just throwing out there and unpacking my week for you guys and telling you guys exactly what the market is looking like. And the people I bring on the show are the exact same way. Like Amy Parker, like she's amazing. She's like out there in the field doing this stuff too. So hopefully you guys enjoy the show. And like I said, if you guys are enjoying this show, please smash that like button. It would mean a lot to me and the YouTube algorithm. And that's it. That's it. Let's get into some more Q&A. All right. Jesse, thank you. I appreciate knowing there are good people in the field. I believe your reputation is invaluable in business. Susanna, there we go. Look at that. Come on now, Susanna. I want the phone number out there. Here's the thing. I think also like this journey of selling your home or buying a home is your journey, and the focus should always kind of be on you. That's it. It is. It's your journey. I'm part of the ride. You know what I mean? I'm helping you, educating you, and all that stuff too. But this journey of home ownership, whether it takes a day, whether it takes 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, this is your journey, and it's my privilege and my pleasure to be part of the ride. And when we get you those keys, that's one of the best feelings. Like I said, the people we work with, sometimes it takes a week, sometimes it takes a couple of years, but we're here for the entire trip. And like I said, you won't find a team that loses their enthusiasm, stops answering those calls, because we want you to find that spot just as much as you do. So that's it. All right. SAC market seems like it's correcting and reverting back down to pre-COVID prices. I've been seeing multiple price reductions, but the house stills don't sell. What are your thoughts on this? Honestly, I think people are watching the reductions and saying to themselves, like, I think they're going to reduce more. I think a lot of people right now feel the blood in the water right now. And I think people are thinking to themselves, like, I got no real rush to buy right now. In fact, I think prices are going to go down further. So I think you're seeing a lot of people right now that, one, you got economic uncertainty. Two, you still have rates that are still relatively like what they've been for a while. But three, I think there's a lot of buyers right now that are saying to themselves, like, we got kicked in the teeth for the last 3 years by these sellers. And the pricing might say fair on Zillow, but I still think with inventory piling up, prices are probably going to go down further. Now, I think some neighborhoods, maybe, some communities and areas, maybe. But at the same time, I'd say also just be aware that if you see a house you really, really do love, it could go. I mean, I would say at least 1 out of 15, now one of maybe 12 listings that hits the market on Friday. And we're talking new listing, not just like those crazy, photos that we, listing that maybe is shown like 3 or 4 times in the last couple of years. I mean, a brand new listing, I'd say 1 out of maybe 12 to 10 listings will still go pretty fast. If it's aggressively priced and if it's in a neighborhood and a community that, like things fly. So just no pricing, no communities, no areas. But for me, I'd say, yeah, you are right. Prices are correcting. But I still think right now buyers are still waiting to see a little bit more of a drop. And I think like they're in no rush. I mean, that's the crazy thing about our market right now too. There's normally like something, right? There's normally some pressure that people feel so, I have to buy right now. There's not. I mean, there's really not. I mean, if you look at prices as far as year over year appreciation, we're probably going to flatline. There's not that huge urgency. People feel like new homes are on the ropes. And as we get into the slower months, they're probably going to be even more on the ropes. People look at resale and they say, look, spring and summer demand is low. Once the kiddos go back to school, demand is probably going to be even lower. And we're still probably going to see some inventory. So it could be better. So that's for the most part what I'm seeing. I still think realistically speaking, people are, there's a lot of factors at play, but I'd say like the ones I listed are pretty much it. So I don't know. That's what I'm seeing. Those are the conversations that like I'm having as well too, especially with realtors, it's funny, but like everyone I talk to, it's like, yeah, it's okay, but it's slow. So I don't know. You could see a lot of realtors probably end of July in Cabo heading out to their last vacation of the year. All right. I'm a bit concerned with the end of forbearance program, rental assistance program ending, and removal of the first look policy. They keep investors and hedge funds from buying foreclosed homes. Here's the thing you're going to notice too. Like, I think I've never seen a huge wave of those homes. You know what I mean? I've never seen a big, huge push. I've seen them like sporadically hit the market. But here's the honesty about this, like, or the transparency about it. Like, this is a different type of market. The other markets that we saw that, forbearance and all that stuff too, was a market where inventory was still flying. We're seeing demand at record low. So even though you're going to see foreclosures maybe hit the market in like, they're not going to flood the market. They're going to trickle in. If they start to all of a sudden just kind of like pile up, it might get bad, and I don't know. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely something to keep your eye on for sure. All right. Hey, Mark, I'll be ready to buy a home in Roseville in about a year. My son is autistic and I feel safer in a gated community that costs no more than $600. Is it possible to find a home for that price? Yeah, I think it is. I think like near the Johnson's Ranch area, there's a couple communities that I think you could probably do that. Also, West Roseville, I think you might be able to do that as well too. There's a couple gated communities. There's a Richmond American community. Depends on, I think Wendy, you could probably get yourself maybe like a 3 and 2 if that's okay. Yeah, I think we could definitely make that happen for you. And here's the thing, like I've been talking to you guys about in this program, I think that if interest rates stay where they're at, you might see prices go down a little bit anyway. So just hang tight. But like I said, in the caveat that I'll mention over and over is if interest rates stay where they're at. I still think if interest rates for some reason start to drop, the market could completely shift. All right. I see these investors and hedge funds keeping the market afloat. The crazy part about it is like, it's like, it seems like everyone kind of wants to turn us into a renter nation. That scares me even more than anything. I mean, it scares me the idea that like my kids, I mean, how hard is it going to be for them to buy a house? I mean, right now I see a lot of people struggling. A lot of people need 2 incomes. And even with 2 incomes, a lot of people can't afford to buy a house. It's going to be crazy. And I think that, we could be turned into that type of renters nation. And for me, that's a sad thing. I mean, think about all you parents out there. I mean, having kids that might not be able to even afford to buy a house. I mean, that's just sad. And I think one of the things I've noticed about Sacramento is our focus is more on building bigger and more expensive homes instead of affordable housing. And I think like we should focus a little bit more on the affordable housing part of Sacramento. Now, I'm not saying go budget, but I'm just saying like focus a little bit more on the 3 and 2s. Don't go for these monster 4,000, 5,000 square foot homes, but go for realistic homes that people can realistically afford. I think one of the things that Sacramento has forgotten is the fact that Sacramento's real estate market was built on first-time home buyers, on affordable housing. We still need to have that as a piece of the puzzle. And I think a lot of builders are forgetting that. Hopefully we see maybe a pivot in builders, even D.R. Horton. I mean, in Roseville, what is that? Entry level is like $650 or something. So hopefully we can go back to a little bit more of affordable stuff as well too. It'd be nice that, realistically people could still buy a house here and not have to sweat a mortgage payment that much. All right. Boom. Sac traffic is nowhere near as bad as I used to experience in Seattle area. Actually, that goes for California in general. It's not. It really, really isn't. Like, I complain about traffic now and again, and then I go to Walnut Creek and I really realize what a baby I am. I completely agree with you. Now, here's the thing, though, I will tell you. One of the things about the Sacramento area that I wish they would have done differently is the fact that if you notice most cities, it's like, like let's say Dallas, right? They'll have a highway going all around the city. So you can kind of connect into the city and area really, really quick. We don't have that in Sacramento. So a lot of our streets like Sunrise, Hazel and everything too tend to be a little bit more of a bear than if we had a highway freeway surrounding all the Sacramento metro so we could swing into the city. That's one thing they didn't do right. The other thing too is, for all these areas that they're building new homes is they don't really have a lot of arteries taking you back and forth from where the new homes are built and the current shopping. Like you look at like Folsom Ranch, for example, right? You got East Bidwell. It's one street that connects you with Folsom. And for a while, the people who live in Folsom Ranch are going to need to do major commuting to Folsom itself, to go to the Palladio for shopping, to go to Costco. So I do think that if I was Sacramento and I could have done it a little differently, I would have done a freeway around all the Sacramento metro area to make commuting a little bit easier for the future. Maybe not for right now, but for the future. And I would have also, if I was going to put in 30,000 new homes in Folsom, I would have done it with the foresight to say, you know what? People who are living here are going to need to go into Folsom for shopping. Let's figure out how we can put that infrastructure in place. And they didn't. In Roseville, the same way. So I agree with you. I don't think traffic is close to the Bay Area, close to Seattle and everything too. But when you see like the idea of 30,000 new homes in Folsom, Elk Grove, 30,000 in Roseville, Elk Grove, Folsom, West Sacramento, Natomas, Lincoln, this is the time that we need to really, really implement some sort of infrastructure or traffic eventually will get really, really bad. All right. Boom. Agreed. Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, on the show, I'll go Wednesday live every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. And if I see some of those foreclosures, forbearance, I'll let you guys know. That'll be the first thing I talk about. All right. Was a fire bad in El Dorado? Was going to use you to help me look, but sounds bad now in that area. You know, I smelt it a little bit, but it wasn't as bad. But I'll tell you a funny story though. I had a client come up, and this was like 2 years ago. What was it? It was 3 years ago. And he actually looked for a house with views in El Dorado Hills after we just had a bad fire, and it was smoky everywhere. No one believed that there were great views in this house. And he actually was able to get this house at a really good price because no one came up because it was smoky up in El Dorado Hills. Now, I'm not saying you should do that, but I'm saying, like, when you get up here, we'll look at some fun stuff. But I would say right now, not that bad. Shayna, as you know, I was going to call you guys because I had Gabby and we were talking mid-century modern 2 weeks ago. I'm totally sorry. You would love that show though too. I would love to have you on the show talking to her because I know you're mid-century modern fanatics like I am. All right. Is the rate in the Bay Area owners relocating Sacramento cooled or shifted down this year? Curious if new build types of buyers in the development areas are folks keep coming from Sacramento, Oakland still. They are not as much though. Right now what we're noticing is, and this is the crazy part, is a lot of people in the Bay Area had planned to cash out of their stocks and come out to Sacramento. A lot of people lost a lot of money in stocks. And they're also feeling uneasy about their jobs because, as we've seen in the last years, a lot of employers in the Bay Area were a little deceptive by telling people they could work on Zoom and then pulled them back to the Bay Area. So I think a lot of people right now are very, very like hesitant. So we've seen probably, I'd say, maybe a decrease of maybe 50%. So it's definitely slowed down. I think eventually it'll pick back up again. But I think right now, Bay Area people coming in, definitely, I'd say at least a 50% reduction right now too. Now, one thing that I have been seeing is a lot of people from out of state moving back into California. So I would say traffic wise, 50%. And if you didn't see my live a few weeks ago, hit it. You'll love it. All right. Curious about new build types of buyers. Yeah. And new builds, what you're seeing, and this is the crazy part about this, a lot of people that I'm looking at new builds are buying, they're renting in the Bay Area and they're buying their forever home here. And their plan is to eventually make the move out here too. So there's still some purchasing from the Bay Area clients and Bay Area people coming out here. I'd say the ones we're seeing most are people who are cash out completely and have cash and they're ready to go. A lot of people retiring and coming out here as well too. But the Bay Area person that's moving out here to work in Zoom, not as much. All right. All right. Great shows always, Mark. Hey, thanks, Evan. Let's say the interest rate drops late this year. Will the market pop even if this traditional slower time? Or I got to learn how to speak. It's late in the show. Great shows always, Mark. Let's say the interest rate drops late this year. Will the market pop even if it's traditionally a slower time? Will that just not matter? Here's the thing for me. I think there are a lot of people that are waiting. They're waiting. So for me, honestly, I mean, if it was me and I was looking at this just from a perspective of a buyer, and I was saying to myself, I'm waiting for the right time to buy. Now, also, I think you have to be accepting of the idea that eventually the rates are going to drop so low that all of a sudden everyone's going to want to buy. So I would kind of be looking at the rate, right? I'd see prices start to kind of dip, and prices will. I mean, August, you're going to see prices probably dropping if interest rates stay where they're at. And then all of a sudden, if prices are dropping, August, maybe go into November, and all of a sudden we see rates start to drop. If it was me, I would be out here. I'd be out here like crazy. I'd be looking at all the new homes because, Q4 new homes, that's where you're going to score deals. Yeah, I would say people are going to be out here. I mean, I saw it a couple of years ago when new homes overbuilt and it was raining. People were out here. I mean, Nikki and I were out there in rain boots. So I do think that if we see, prices drop a little bit in the Sacramento area and all of a sudden November, December rates start to drop, I think people are going to be out here. I think, like I said, just keep an eye on rates because at some point it's going to turn from hey, I bought at the right time to, everyone's out here looking, and all of a sudden the market could flip. So just be cognizant of the rates dropping and what number it's going to trigger people to come out here. All right. Video guy Matt, keep waiting, everyone. Don't catch the falling knife. I know. Here's the thing. Like I said, I keep it real on the show, and you could be right. Honestly, I mean, it could be the best move to wait. I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying you shouldn't. It is one of those things right now where if I was a buyer, there's a part of me that goes like, yeah, I mean, no urgency. I'm seeing price cuts. Interest rates are where they're at. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a crazy market. But for me, I've always been driven a little bit about what I want. So, and like I said earlier on the program, just know what you want. Make sure you're not in that frenzy where you're just like, rates start dropping and all of a sudden you're just grabbing what you can. Figure out the community, figure out the area and everything too. There might be a situation where you're in that, you're looking in the hottest community, a house is going to go, it's aggressive pricing, and you say, you know what, I'm going to grab it and maybe refi later. So there's a lot of different scenarios, but like I said, all the scenarios in one way or another are valid. Time your life, don't time the market. It's so hard though right now with prices dropping and rates being where they're at. So, like I said, if you guys have questions about this, hit me up. Like I said, this stuff is always on my brain. Sad, but true. All right. When no one's buying seems to be the best time from my experiences. So don't listen to me. No, I mean, there is validity to that too. There is an idea right now that, let's say, for example, you see tons of inventory. You see a house that is maybe $20,000 under what it's worth, and it's on the market because it's been there for 90 days. And you jump in, even though these interest rates are high, and you buy it, and 2 weeks from now, interest rates start to drop, you win. It's not something you can plan or something you can time, but sometimes people win that way as well too. How many cash buyers are you seeing lately? I would say out of our calls, we're seeing at least 1 out of every 6 people are cash buyers. And for a cash buyer, this is a great time. I mean, but also, you're going to be watching the price drops and the interest. If interest rates stay like at 7 and I'm a cash buyer and I was seeing inventory pile up, I don't know. I'd still be waiting a little bit as well too. But cash buyers, I think if you're a cash buyer right now in this market, I would definitely start going low, unless you fall in love with a house, which this is not the market to do, especially if you're it's hard because I love falling in love with a forever home too. Try not to, because I do think if you like a few different homes and if you do put in low offers, you can definitely win as a cash buyer in this market. It's just when you find that one house that you just absolutely go head over heels. Those houses tend to make people do crazy things. All right. Boom. We haven't seen a big AI job losses yet. Wait until every basic software engineer who moved up to the Bay gets laid off because all AI can do it better. AI is crazy. I'll tell you something. The Google certificates because Oracle is going to house all the AI stuff. That's crazy. I know. Honestly, AI is a scary, scary, scary thing. But the crazy part about AI is we all know that it's going to eventually bite us in the butt no matter what profession we do, but it's just so good. All right. Thank you for answering me. One more question. Is it true what they say about the quality of new homes? Lots of stuff on social media, spreading fear. Would rather hear from you. Here's what I'll say about new homes. I think that you should get an inspection. I would say interview the superintendent. I would say straight up, what I've seen is that people generalize with builders. They're like, Taylor Morrison or Tri Pointe. You got to work with a superintendent that actually good references, interview them. They have a good build crew. And I'm telling you guys straight up, one of the cleanest homes I saw was in Elk Grove, KB. And it was for a client, Alex. And there was no blue tape. I would say get your inspection done and just be as diligent as you can be. For new homes, like I said, you got to understand this too. Any home that was ever built was at one point a new home. For me, there are builders that if, communities, you got to research the reviews and figure out how people are liking it. I'd also say talk to your neighbors and do the best you can. Normally, if you work with our team, we'll guide you a little bit towards the ones we've had better experiences with. And we'll give you kind of the pros and cons without really telling you do this or do that. For example, and it's nothing against Lennar, nothing at all, but we were up with some amazing clients and we were looking at Lennar, right? We were looking at I think it was Silver, the one in Folsom Ranch. And we were looking at it and our clients absolutely fell in love with the home. They're like, oh my God, we love this home. And they said, what do you think of Lennar as a builder? I said, look, here's what I will tell you. tonight, go home, type in the community, type in Lennar, and see the type of reviews and type of community, what people are saying about the community. Next day, they told us this is a community we're not looking at anymore. And then they ended up buying at Hidden Ridge Toll Brothers. So we'll guide you a little bit best we can as far as that goes. We've worked with every single builder and everything too. But let's say, for example, one day you just fly up and you say, hey, look, that Mark guy, I don't like him. I'm gonna go in by myself. I would say just focus in on the community, the superintendent, make sure they allow you to do inspections, and then do inspections that include like thermal, what's called infrared inspections, moisture testing and all that stuff too. And then just make sure before you sign papers, everything is fixed and it's good to go. The warranties are in place. It's got a 10, 12-year structural with most builders. And then you have a 10-year or a 1-year fit and finish. So that's kind of what I'd say for you, Harry. Hopefully that answered your question. All right, video guy, Matt. Let me get that. Cash buyers should be hoping interest rates go higher, keep earning money in treasuries and renting for the 1/3 of the cost. Yeah, I know. That's a crazy part. I talked to a lot of people too who are cash buyers, and I'm like, for you guys want the interest rates to go up because it does better for you. So yeah, I get it. All right, as a Southern California transplant, I must say this year's summer heat hasn't been too bad so far, except for today, right? Today is like 100. Nah, it's not too bad. Hasn't been too bad so far, like it was last year. Cooler temps in the fall, spring in Sac are perfect. Yeah, here's the thing for me. It has definitely been a cooler summer for sure. By this time, we've already experienced a few 100-degree days, and it really hasn't felt that bad as well too. And like I said, like if heat is the worst of our problems, I mean, tornadoes, no. Hurricanes, no. I haven't felt an earthquake since I've been here in like 12 years. So if we get a little bit of heat and that's as bad as it gets, I think we're okay. All right. I don't see interest rates dropping in 2025 unless we enter a serious recession. There just isn't any reason for them to drop. Bond buyers aren't happy and will demand good yield stay. Yeah, like I said, I think if you talk to a realtor, if you talk to a lender and they say we're going to be in the 6s later on this year, take it with a grain of salt. For me, I don't like to guess too much about it, but everyone I talk to is basically that I'm like, okay, this person's legit, is saying that we're going to be there for a while. And they're also saying that if market is this bad right now, that August, September, October, November, December are just going to be brutal. So for buyers, that's good things. For sellers, that could be really, really bad. And I'd say probably a lot of realtors are probably going to be out of work as well too. Love them or hate them, probably just what's going to happen. So, but the show will live on. I promise you guys that. All right. Let me see. Let's answer some more questions for you guys. All right. Elk Grove versus Folsom versus Roseville. I love Natomas because it's close to downtown. Consider Roseville, but it's not diverse at all. Best part of Elk Grove is its diversity, but it is slower compared to Roseville. Natomas is a good bet. I like North Natomas. I like the area between, like Natomas is right by the airport, right by downtown. I think the price point is good. I think you can get something there in the 4s. The only thing you have to worry about in Natomas is it's a one part of Sacramento that you need flood insurance. So just be aware of that. It's going to run you like $100 a month. Elk Grove and Roseville, honestly, like they're both kind of, Roseville has a little bit more shopping, is a little bit more active. Elk Grove's very suburban. People like Elk Grove because it's pretty close to it's relatively compared to the Sacramento Metro, it's closest to the Bay Area. A lot of people in Elk Grove have lived there. Their mom lives there. They've grown up in Elk Grove. Roseville's closer to the shopping. There's a little bit more activity, although for me, I'm not a big fan of where the 65 and 80 merge. Not my favorite. North Natomas has fallen off the cliff. Used to be nice, now horrible. Really, I like North Natomas. But, I mean, like I said, I think the thing about North Natomas, once they put in that Topgolf innovation plazas over there too, hopefully I know that they plan on doing a lot more. I've even heard grumblings about the zoo. Need I say more? So I don't know. I mean, the future, I think for me, I look at Natomas, the location, airport, downtown, right there. I still think there's so much potential in that area. All right. Boom. Are you buying a home with long-term resale value in mind? I purchased mine with the minimum mindset it would hold its value. Honestly, I think that a lot of that is lost on the current current people looking for homes, right? For me, I found a house I liked. I believed in the area. I believed in its potential and everything too. But part of me was like, I have so much value for the years that I'm going to be spending in my house with my daughter, hanging out, family stuff too. I think that that's stuff that we don't really put at the forefront of our purchase. For me, at the end of the day, if I sell my house and I get exactly what I spent on my house and I'm out the door, I won't be ecstatic, but at the same time, the memories I made in this house just last me forever. And I think that was the old term mentality that like maybe our parents had, where they moved to a community so they could have a better life for their kids and all that stuff too. And I think that with that mindset, there should be a piece of your purchase. There should be a part of the purchase of a home that should be part of that. And I think that that could be a little lost in this current market. All right. Boom. All right. North Lake is the most depressing new construction neighborhood in the area. Oh, this I will 100% agree with you. Oh my God. Lennar shot. Yeah. That, I don't know what that. Yeah. I'm with you. I can't even go that. Yeah. Not happy. Yeah. It looks so depressing out there. All right. Too bad I missed the start. I just came back down. Hey, how are you doing? Honestly, guys, buy in JMC in Roseville. He could be your neighbor. But like I said, and I said every single program, I like JMC. Standard upgrades are great. I think West Roseville is going to be that area. And don't be too scared because I don't think it's going to be a ghost town anytime soon. All it needs, like I said, it might be a little slow right now, but all we need is a little bit. Eventually, end of this year, maybe next year, rates to drop a little bit, and we are back in business again. Sacramento's got too much stuff positive right now going for it. All the medical jobs, state jobs, location, we're good. We just have got to weather the storm a little bit. All right, boom. Will the new builds of new homes let me see them, or do I have to have a contact with the realtor first? I want to get familiar with the community of Roseville first and visit new homes. Normally they want you to come with your realtor on the first visit. We tend to know a lot of the salespeople. So if you're working with our team, we might be able to take care of it for you as well too. If not, we'd love to meet you, show you around, give you a little bit of a tour of new homes and all that stuff too. We are literally the most non-selling team in all of Sacramento. So we'd give you a little bit of lay of the land. We'd show you which builders we like, which builders are giving good incentives and everywhere too. So, but yeah, normally the builders ask you to go with your realtor the first time. All right. Happy and thankful there you go. Okay. I think this is the first time that you mentioned something like that. Here's the thing. JMC, best standard upgrades, great floor plans. I like JMC and they're a local builder. Need I say more? All right. Agree with you, Video Guy Matt. Natomas changed when the moratorium on building ended, with the levees being rebuilt and strengthened. Too many large apartment complexes and the place is crowded. North Lake is awful. Man-made lake isn't usable. Oh man, Lennar. Oh yes, I know. And what's the funny thing is, I think it started when Lennar built that community out there. It was such a hype behind that community. It was like North Lake, North Lake, North Lake, and now it's like, oh. And now going into this market, I would be that's not a good thing. All right. Is Roseville your top pick for shopping and dining options in the area? Arden Fair Mall. All right, Wendy, Arden Fair. I like Arden. Been there a few times. They have a couple nice shops I like there. All right. Do you want to live near large shopping centers or plaza? I'd prefer to have shops mixed in with residential. I think for majority of the spots in the Sacramento area, you're going to see a little bit of a mix. Really good mixed in kind of shops and everything too. Roseville's probably the only one that's kind of gone crazy with the shopping. You got the Galleria, you got big box stores everywhere, and there's like that. I think the best for me, the best shopping experience, the best kind of like I guess you call it mall, would probably be like, I like the El Dorado Town Center. I like the Folsom Palladio as well too. Those I think are done right. I think if we had more like that throughout Sacramento, it would be really, really nice. All right. 10 reasons you might not survive moving to Folsom. Most of your list are reasons why we did move to Folsom. I know. That was a video I did a while ago, and I apologize. That was a little bit bait and switchy of me. I apologize. I didn't mean to do that whole like thumbnail where I did the Home Alone face. I apologize. My videos hopefully have gotten a little bit better for you guys and a little bit more realistic. All right, moving to Sacramento, California in 2025. I'm hoping to upgrade to a String Brothers MCM home with a larger yard in the future when interest rates drop. You know, I'm going to tell you something. If interest rates hit in the fours, you are going to be the first person I think about if I find a String Brothers house. I promise you that. All right. Arden Fair Challenge. Okay. Nah, I plan on staying here for the long term, especially since my mortgage rate is only 4% and it's basically doubled since guys, one of the things that we forget to take into account is there's a lot of people with 2.75s, a lot of people with low interest rates right now that are saying to themselves, I don't care if the most amazing house pops on the market. I am not leaving my home. And like I said, a lot of the people are telling you about all this inventory hitting the market. House is only going to be sold if someone wants to sell it. And the 3 houses, more than not, that I'm seeing being sold: divorce, death, and departing the state still. All right. I encourage people to buy homes in West Roseville, preferably JMC homes, but feel free to buy any builder around Roseville. Guys, I'm telling you something. Roseville's got some crazy builders out there too. Great. They're building. Woodside's got 3 communities. Richmond American's got 2 communities out there. You got Pulte, you got Tri-Point, you got Woodside, I already mentioned, Richmond, JMC. You got so many builders out there. Beezer's out there as well too. West Roseville, honestly, with all the stuff that they're going to be building out there, Costco and everything too, it's crazy. My buddy Sean, she's got a listing coming up that we're going to film together out there as well too, and we'll showcase it for you guys. But West Roseville is a very nice spot. Lots of new home options, definitely up and coming. Nice spot. All right. What are your thoughts on new homes in Rancho Cordova? I still think, honestly, and like I said, do your due diligence before you purchase anywhere, but I still think based on Elk Grove Unified School District, proximity to Folsom, close to Costco, and future projects are planned for that area, I still think it's the best bang for your buck in the Sacramento area, especially what I'm seeing the new homes out there are giving the best incentives. You go to KHOV, nobody will touch KHOV as far as incentives go. Tri-Point's got a great one as well too. Woodside, Beezer's okay, but you know, if I'm looking at new homes and I'm trying to get something like with a good incentives, no one beats KHOV. But I will tell you this, the 3 areas as far as new home building goes, as far as affordability, as far as getting in, it's going to be Vineyard, it's going to be West Roseville, and it's going to be Rancho. But I think right now, I don't know if anyone touches KHOV's incentives. All right. Ready? I look at homes there. The only issue I have is that it has higher Melrose. Yeah, definitely. And thank you for, the Melrose definitely is higher over there too. I think the Richmond community that is in Rancho had lower Melrose. I think it was 100 and something. I think they sold out though. I think what you're looking at in Roseville is between 250, I think, and 320. And I think in Rancho, it goes from like 250 and it could go all the way up to 450, depending on which builder. All right. Happy for those who like West Roseville, but it's so far from anything cool. Mostly newcomers community for those not from Sac. Same as Rancho Cordova. Same with 99 side of Elk Grove. Here's the thing though, too. This is what I will say. With all those homes and all those Melrose, what you're going to see is communities just go. I mean, think about this. If you're a business and you're saying to yourself, you know what, I'm thinking about opening up a location, or if you're a restaurant, you're saying to yourself, thinking about opening up a location, I don't know where to go. And you look at like, let's say West Roseville, and there's like, 30,000 new people who have homes there, moved in there. That would be the first spot I'd invest in putting up a restaurant. So for me, I think in the future, I mean, those areas are like, imagine if you're like a dentist, a doctor, someone who's opening up a business, and you have 30,000 households sitting there and they've got to drive maybe 15 minutes to go to the mall. I'm thinking to myself, there's going to be commercial built near all of that stuff too. Maybe not right now, but definitely in the future. I mean, that just is a no-brainer to me. All right, boom. All right, this is the one thing I'm scared of. West Roseville becomes a ghost town with houses are empty because no one is buying. I think right now what you're going to see in West Roseville, because there's so many builders building out there, it's definitely going to slow down. I think what builders need to do and what they're going to probably be forced to do, because they don't want to do it, is give better incentives and probably stop increasing prices every single release. So I think they got to adapt, but I think the margin in new homes is still really, really good. And I think they do have room to negotiate. All right. The best thing about West Roseville is that it's close to the airport. Going to the airport without passing through downtown Sacramento, it fits in with my lifestyle because I travel a lot. Ooh, that is true. Hey, let me ask you something. From where you live, is it like, it's got to be like 20 minutes away to the airport? All right, analyze Folsom Ranch, and there's a high percentage sector of buyers who bought and are cash flow negative renting. They can't hold forever. I'm sure it's the same in West Roseville and Rancho. Here's the thing about Folsom. Okay, so I have sold to a lot of investors in Folsom. The thing about them is a lot of my investors, bought houses, like they bought in the KB communities and everything too. And at a certain time, their houses were like, they bought at like 630, 640 when they first started selling. So with appreciation, I mean, they're making some money there. You are right though. I think right now the rental market is a little soft in Sacramento. And right now, we're getting a lot of calls from investors saying, oh, I want to buy a new home. I want to be cash flow. You're just not going to be, this isn't the market for that, especially with interest rates. Not to mention the biggest thing about new homes for investors, like if you're a cash buyer and you're an investor and you're saying to yourself, that's what I want. Like you're kind of like, investors don't get those incentives for the new homes. You know what I mean? Like for me, if I'm an investor, I'm coming into Sacramento and I'm a cash buyer, I'm buying like a duplex. I'm buying somewhere where I don't have to deal with Melrose. I'm not dealing with HOAs. That's what I'm buying specifically. I think some people get so enamored by these new homes that they're jumping in just because they look at them. They're like, it's new. I don't have to deal with any problems. If you have a good handyman, if you have a good contractor and you buy like a duplex, I mean, you're making more money. So for me, I like that avenue a whole lot better, especially if I'm a cash buyer. I mean, why skip out on all the incentives these new homes are offering, and on top of that, pay Melrose? That for me doesn't make sense, but that's just me. All right, drive by baseline when I go to the airport. Oh, okay. Going to the dentist is super cool. JK, just having fun. Nicely said. All right, next one. Do you think Folsom has the best outdoor recreations in Sacramento region? Yes, 61%. Here's the thing, guys. We got a lot of other spots. El Dorado Hills got a bunch. Even Gold River, American River Bike Trail. The Pocket has got Sacramento River for fishing. I don't know. It's hard, but I think Folsom is known in our area to have the best outdoor recreation. Is Roseville your top pick for shopping and dining options in the area? No. All right. 54%. Interesting. Okay. I would say probably number one is downtown still, but that's just my own 2 cents. All right. Are you buying a home with long-term resale value in mind? Yes. And that's one of the things I think about this market. I think because the economy is the way it is, I think interest rates are high. People are just saying to themselves, like, look, I'm buying something right now, and I just want to make sure that I'm investing my money right. And I get it. And I think right now, Sacramento and all throughout the nation, because of the way the economy is, interest rates are, it's a tough one. But I'd say right now, like, it's a hard one, but it's definitely on everyone's minds for sure. Probably even more than just buying a house because you really want a house. All right. Do you want to live near a large shopping center or plaza? Yes. The nice thing about Sacramento is there are a lot of like shopping centers. There's a lot of plazas. I mean, a little strip mall-ish here and there, like the Citrus Heights area and everything too. But there's shopping. I mean, for me, I would say a Rayleigh's, Bel Air, like a Safeway is probably 10 minutes, no matter where you live. Costco, you're at least like 15, 17 minutes away from a Costco. We got like 12 Costcos in Sacramento. So there are lots of shopping here in Sacramento. Tito, hi from Folsom. Hello. Hey Tito, how much do you love Folsom? All right. You prefer living near a major freeway like the 80 or the 50? A lot of people do. A lot of people love the freeway access because you're kind of like, there's areas like, your Citrus, your kind of Antelope areas where they're kind of like locked in. So I do think a lot of people definitely like that freeway access to get around because like I said, we don't have that giant freeway going around Sacramento. So if you're landlocked, it's a little bit of a bear, especially if you're attached to streets like Sunrise or Hazel. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Boom. All right. What's your opinion on Auburn, particularly Dark Horse, Deer Ridge, Lake of the Pines? I like it. Dark Horse. That's a golf course, custom homes out there too. I think it's nice. The only thing about Auburn is what I've heard is home insurance might be a little bit much there depending on where you buy. I think Auburn's nice. I think it's a little far away. Would I consider living in Auburn as a realtor and have to drive everywhere? Probably not. But I have a lot of people that I work with that just love Auburn. I think it's probably, like, I always say Fair Oaks as well too, but I would say if you're looking for like that kind of Hallmarkish kind of vibe, I think Auburn gives it to you. I think they've got some, like you mentioned, some amazing communities out there. I think Auburn is really, really nice. I think the only thing that you'd have to worry about is what is out there. You're in PG&E, home insurance and it's a little far from everything. It feels almost like one of those spots like, that you'd stop at in Lake Tahoe. I think it has that kind of vibe. But I think it's pretty. I think it's really, really nice. If for some reason this show took off and this show was basically all I was doing and I retired from real estate, I wouldn't mind living in Auburn. I think it's nice. I think there's a lot of foliage out there. The vibe out there is really, really nice. I have a realtor friend of mine who lives out there and just loves it there. I'm even working with a client that they're looking for new homes, but she still loves Auburn so much and she's so attached to her home over there too. So I'd say thumbs up for Auburn, but that's just me. I think Auburn's a nice spot. All right. On these no homes, we're talking about can and will they have both Melrose and HOAs? That would be scary monthly, I would imagine. I would say HOAs, you're talking about maybe 35% of the communities probably have HOAs some way. Probably about like maybe between like $30 to maybe $140. Melrose, yeah, every new community in all the Sacramento area for the most part. I mean, maybe there's some boutique builders, but for the most part, everyone's got Melrose as well too. Yeah, it definitely is one of those things that I tell people. I'm like, if Melrose aren't your thing, if HOAs aren't your thing, there's a lot of nice communities here in Sacramento that you could buy like resale homes, right? And you can even put in a seller credit in your offer, especially in the market we're in now, where you can actually buy down your rate and get a lower interest rate. So there are definitely options. But yeah, it's definitely, if you got HOAs on top of Melrose, it's definitely not a fun thing, and definitely adds to the amount of loan you qualify for. All right. We're returning to the trend line, trend line for pricing. I expect 2019 pricing plus 20% is where we land. Long way to drop from here, but we are headed down pretty fast. Here's the thing for me. It all depends on interest rate and the number that's going to be needed for buyer demand to kind of kick back in. I still think here's the thing. I think, Phoenix's market is hurting, Houston, there's other markets that are really, really hurting. I mean, I think Sacramento, as far as our job diversity, state jobs, state capital, all the medical that's coming in here, all the projects that are still going strong, the new soccer stadium, I still think Sacramento's market is strong. I think that right now, if there was a market that I'd want to be in for this type of economy, it's definitely Sacramento's market. I think we're going to see a lot of markets in the United States get hit and probably not recover for a long, long time. Where I do think Sacramento, all we need is rates to drop a little bit, and I think we're back to business as usual. All right. Done. Ivan, Auburn is just far, but it's a good town if you have money. Yeah, Auburn's really pretty. It reminds me a little bit of that show, Northern Exposure. I just watched it a while ago. I like Auburn. I think Auburn's it's really like hilly. I'd say it's more foliage than El Dorado Hills, but it has that kind of El Dorado Hills kind of drive. I don't know. I really like Auburn. Like I said, if I was just doing something remotely, if I was doing like a podcast and that was all I was doing, Auburn would be a spot I'd consider because it has that kind of small town feel. All the houses are kind of like, have nice pieces of land. It's very unique houses as well too. And Dark Horse, nice houses over there. All right. Reminds me of Los Angeles a bit with the amount of shopping centers. Yeah, it definitely has that kind of vibe. I mean, I think Sacramento is a driving city, and I think that's kind of why it has a LA feel with the shopping centers all throughout. Like, I mean, you go down like East Bidwell, you see a bunch of shopping centers. You go down Sunrise the same way, Sierra the same way. So yeah, it kind of has that vibe. All right. I love the HOA where I bought my home. What's it called? They include front lawn maintenance, so I don't have to. And some of these HOAs also are relatively inexpensive comparatively towards mine in Gold River. I pay $353 a month. I have no gate. Yes, they maintain the front of my yard and everything too, but I don't even have a gate for that much. So it's not that bad. All right. But for someone who's not looking for a community or looking for a new home and they're going to have to pay Melrose and HOA, it definitely is going to affect your price point or how much you qualify for. All right. Is being part of a tight-knit neighborhood important to you? Yes and no. Come on. Stop. Throw that Bay Area isolation away. Be part of the community. Here's the thing. I will tell you this. For people who are moving into Sacramento, understand that like people in Sacramento are very neighborly. All right. We're very friendly. But as I find it, we're not really too in your business. We're the type of neighbors where if you leave out of town, we'll keep an eye on your house. But we're not the type of neighbors that are going to get in your business. And those type of neighbors, I think, are the perfect type of neighbors. All right, we're almost done, guys. If you're enjoying this live, smash that like button. Also, share the live broadcast with a friend or someone. I'd appreciate that. Oh, that is the last question of the night. All right, what do we got? We got 2 hours, guys. We went 2 hours. If you guys are like enjoying this live broadcast, like I said, please smash that like button. I appreciate you guys tuning in and asking all your questions, because all the questions you ask, other people that are thinking about moving in are going to watch this video and hear about Auburn, about new homes, about Northlake and all that stuff too. And I think that's one of the things that is the most powerful thing about this show is it's just not me telling everybody about how the Sacramento market is. It's getting the input from you guys out there who like live here, who are maybe thinking about moving here, like stuff that video guy Matt is saying, stuff that everyone is saying. Like, I think people who are moving into Sacramento need to hear this stuff from everybody. So hopefully you guys feel free to always comment, ask your questions, give your opinions. If you think I'm wrong, yes, please tell me I'm wrong. Maybe I am. I don't know. All right. Sacramento used to be tight-knit in almost all neighborhoods. That's all gone now. I'd say some communities you still got that. I'd say depending on where you live. I'd say a lot of the new home communities are still kind of finding themselves out a little bit, still finding that whole thing. But I think like your Briggs Ranch, Lexington Hills, you still got a lot of family stuff going. Gold River is still pretty like family oriented as well too. I think if you find something or if you look for something in Sacramento, you'll find it. All right. Thanks, Sarah, for the info. The homes in Auburn were actually cheaper compared to Folsom, Rockland, El Dorado Hills, probably because they're far. Yeah, it's a farness, but I will tell you, Ivan, go and look in Auburn. You'll fall in love. Auburn's beautiful. I mean, other than El Dorado Hills and maybe parts of Folsom, like Auburn is just gorgeous. It's really one of those things that like, it's everything that people think Northern California scenery is about. I think Auburn's an amazing place. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this live broadcast. On Friday, I'm going to drop a video about the top 5 new home deals in all the Sacramento area. I had Alana from my team go out. She researched every single one of these. So these aren't just going to be like, oh, look at this. This is a great deal. These are going to be the 5 best communities offering the 5 best incentives and pricing and everything to you in Sacramento. Friday at 7, that video will drop. We're going to record it tomorrow. Enjoy your evening. Try to stay cool. It's like 100 degrees. I hope you guys are, if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. And that's it. Okay, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the live show that we do every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. just for you. If you did, please smash that like button. Also, any comments and questions you might have, put them down below and I'll make sure to answer them. Now, if you want information about the Toll Brothers promotion that I mentioned earlier, hit that number on the big banner, text me directly, and I'll give you all the information that I have regarding it. Now, we are a real estate team in the area. We're one of the top teams in the area. We've been ranked number 1, number 2, number 3 for like the last 3 or 4 years. So please reach out to our team. We'd love to talk to you a little bit about Sacramento, why it's an amazing spot to live. Answer any questions you might have regarding the Sacramento Metro. Guys, we know this area like the back of our hands. Rockland, El Dorado, Woodland, even Davis. We know them. So reach out to our team. We'll put you on a Zoom call, answer all the questions you might have, set up a tour, and show you guys why we are the #1 team that you should be working with if you're looking to relocate to Sacramento. Now, if you're looking to sell your house, guys, we've been having amazing success with YouTube. We've been getting eyeballs and we've been getting houses sold, not just listed, but sold. So if that's you and you've been a little frustrated or you don't know who to work with to list your home, reach out to our team. We can tell you a little bit about how we've been doing it and why it is a game changer. Now, one last thing before I go, there's a playlist right over there of other broadcasts and other videos that I've done regarding the Sacramento metro area. Those videos are a must watch. Definitely check those out. Education is key. And honestly, those videos will get you guys taken care of. All right, guys, this is Mark. Have a good one. Until next Wednesday's live show or Friday till I release another video at 7 p.m. Have a good one.